Nice! Welcome back to Limbus Company. We're here doing things. What things? I don't know because I'm very indecisive on a daily basis. But we're here. We completed Intervallo 3, both of them. So we're going to the Heartbreaking. Hi, Y, welcome in. And we will be continuing the journey of Heathcliff. We probably won't get very far today, but that's okay. Just read head pats! Head pats! Thank you. Welcome back, Heath.
보랏빛 꽃만이 유일한 아름다움으로 남아있는 그 저택으로.
To the manor where the last vestiges of its beauty remain in its violet flowers.
폭풍으로 뚫린 균열 사이로 모든 온기가 빠져나갔던 그 저택으로.
I can't stay long, got work in a couple hours, so have fun. Alright, thank you so much. At least for stopping by, too. To the manor where its storm-broken breach has siphoned all that was once warm.
너에게 삶을 내어준 대신 모멸감과 무너짐을 안겨주었던 그 저택으로.
To the manor that gave you not only life, but also scorn and desolation.
난로불 가운데가
More head pats!
여기만이
Bye! Head pats! Bananas? I think that's how you pronounce it. Let me know if I'm pronouncing it incorrectly, but welcome in. Yay! To the manor where your place was the frozen corner that couldn't be further from the hearth. Mr. Ananas, thank you. Pineapple. Okay, good to know. Thank you.
돌아와.
Return from the moors.
이제 집으로 올 시간이야.
It's time for you to come home. So, this is what T-Corp's nest looked like. We had surprisingly little trouble making it past the nest's borders. I guess my concerns were unfounded.
뭐, 다행히도 이번 둥지 입국 심사는 별일 없이 넘어왔네요.
Well, somehow, we made it through this nest checkpoint without any trouble.
아이, 이 정도야 뭐. 아이, 칭찬은 굳이 안 해도 괜찮다고 하지 않았어.
'Tis nothing. Forsooth, such wide compliments are unnecessary, says I.
아무도 하진 않았는데.
But we didn't say anything?
다 컸어, 이제.
She's grown so much. She has grown so much. Everyone seems awfully relaxed for having just entered a different nest. I guess everyone's gotten used to this by now. Humdrum, routine. I guess it'd be words to describe the general sentiment among listeners. Except for one, that is. Poor Heathcliff. We're heading to this place called Wuthering Heights next, right? I could tell from Heathcliff's glum expression that his mind was weighed down by all kinds of complicated concerns.
그렇지.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, cool. That is a very different face from that Heathcliff usually makes. I do not like this face for Heathcliff. I don't think we've ever seen it before. The way the eyes look is throwing me off. In addition with that mouth, they don't mesh well to me. Though his eyes were staring at the moving scenery past the windows, his mind was affixed on something that his eyes couldn't see, something that lay beyond the building walls.
워더링 하이츠라.
Wuthering Heights.
무지하게 강한 바람이 불었던 집이었나 보죠.
That man must have been built on one windy hill, huh?
그 저택은 바람이 지랄맞게 불었어.
Yeah, play Wuthering, like its namesake.
아늑한 구석은 하나도 찾을 수 없는 곳이었지.
Not a single corner of that place gave any comfort. Heathcliff's voice carried an unusually dark tone. The other sinners on the bus noticed this and began chatting him up.
고향에 당도한다니 마음이 참 복잡하겠소.
A return to one's homeland must bring forth quite the tangled mass of emotions.
고향이라 뭐
Homeland? Well,
태어난 곳이 아니라 자라온 곳이긴 한데 하긴 그것도 고향이라면 고향이겠지.
I wasn't born here. I was raised here. I suppose that could still count as a homeland in a way.
근데 보통 고향하면 떠올리는 감정은 아니야.
But it doesn't conjure in me the same feeling that a homeland is supposed to.
허면
That is to say...
머릿속에선 수천 번도 넘게 상상했어. 내가 그 빌어먹을 집안에 돌아가서 모든 걸 남김없이 부수고.
You have no idea how many times I've imagined it plated out of my bloody head. Returning to that manor, smashing every little thing in the place to bits until there's just nothing left.
모든 걸 부숴서 그 다음엔 뭘 하려고 했는데요?
Okay, so you'll smash everything to bits. Then what?
저를 보고도 깨달은 게 없는 거예요?
Did you really learn nothing from watching what I went through at the lake?
있어?
I did learn something.
일단 내가 획가닥해서 되져버리기 직전까지 가게 되더라도 너희 중 하나가 어떻게든 끄집어내줄 거라는 거.
If I ever lose the plot and push myself to the brink of no return, I trust that one of you louts will pull me right out of it.
뭐 두들겨 패서라도 꺼내달라는 건가요?
Are you giving us the permission to beat the sense back into you?
두들겨 패서라도 그럴 필요가 있으면.
Yeah, if that's what it takes. Well, Don Quixote is apparently very good at that. We learned that from Sinclair's canto. She's experienced it a bunch, so she should probably be able to do this a bunch.
어디까지 허용이 되지? 신체 절단과 신경 조직 손상 중에
Interesting. How far are we allowed to go with bodily harm? Amputation? Nerve mutilation?
머리 같은 데를 세게 쥐어박는 정도는 괜찮지 않을까요?
Maybe we can at least smack his head really hard?
아니 이 새끼들
Alright, you cheeky bastards.
나한테 쌓인 걸 풀라는 의미가 아니라고. 지금 진지하게.
Seriously, this isn't an invitation to use me as your emotional punching bag. I'm not in the mood to...
그래도 지금의 히스클리프 씨라면 잘 해내실 것 같다는 생각이 들어요.
Still, I think your present self can do this, Heathcliff.
뭔 소리야? 지금이라니.
What do you mean by my present self?
지금의 히스클리프 씨는 가난하고 남은 게 아무것도 없잖아요.
Heathcliff, your present self is deprived. You're poor, you don't have anything left.
뭐? 가난?
What? Poor?
이제는 아예 대놓고 시비 걸기로 작정했냐? 내가
Right. Now you're skipping past pleasantries and going straight to personal insults. Yeah? I'm...
아니 오해가 있으신 것 같아요.
Sorry, I think you took my words the wrong way. Honglu is far from the most talkative sinner, but when he does speak, he usually has something insightful to say. Though since he never says it in a way that's immediately obvious, his words are very prone to misunderstandings.
저희는 모두 가난해요. 그러니 예전과는 많은 게 달라졌을 거예요. 어쩌면 가진 게 아무것도 없을 때가 되어서야 몰랐던 걸
In a
깨달을
way,
수도 있으니까요.
we're all deprived. And that can change a lot of things. Maybe there are things that we can understand only when we're left with nothing.
가난하여서 이렇게 구릿구릿한 색깔을 계속 가지고 다녀야 하는 거요?
Doth that poverty explain our current unsightly lack of colorfulness? Don Quixote looked mournfully at everything around her, then at herself. She sounded like she was about to cry. No, poor baby. Everything had been drained of color since the moment we entered T-Corp through the back streets. It feels like even more of our colors have been taken away since then.
그 얘기 언제 하나 했어?
I was wondering when we'd bring that up.
대체 언제까지 이런 색깔로 다녀야 하는 거야?
Maybe we'll get our colors back soon.
라는 생각을 한 게 불과 10시간 전인데
Or so I thought, like 10 hours ago.
가도 원상복귀가 되지 않잖아. 이대로 평생 칙칙하게만 살아야 하는 거야? 이러면 식욕도 떨어져. 살아갈 의지가 없어지게 된다고.
Are we gonna be colorless forever? Are we gonna be stuck in this gloomy hue for the rest of our lives? Seriously, nothing looks tasty in this sepia hue. I'm trying to lose even my will to live.
고기를 먹어도 고기가 상한 걸로밖에 안 보인다고.
Everything's in that sickly brown hue. Guys, even the meat looks downright rotten in this color.
갑자기 너무 건너뛴 것 같지 않아?
That's a bit of an overreaction, isn't it?
그리고 저 사람들은 옷의 색깔이 보이고 있잖아.
Oh, and what about those guys? They've got color in their clothes. With an annoyed look, Rhodia gestured toward the people outside the bus.
개개인 분들께 해드린 답변을 합치면 23번째 답변이긴 합니다만 색깔을 돌려받으려면 그에 준하는 돈을 지불해야 합니다.
A sufficient amount of payment must be made in order to retrieve your colors. It must be emphasized this question has been repeatedly answered on 23 separate occasions.
저 정도로 색깔을 돌려받은 거면 코트에 바지에
Well, let me have a gander. His cloak, his trousers.
저 새낀 별로 잘 살지도 못하면서 허세만 있는 놈이야. 진짜 부자들은 안경테나 장신구까지 색깔을 되찾거든.
That bloke's not even that loaded. He's only trying to come off as though he is. Real tops spare no cash to get every single color back, even to their trivial trinkets like the rims of their glasses.
히스클리프 씨도 이곳에 살고 있을 동안은 계속 색을 보지 못한 상태였나요?
Did you also have to live without color when you lived here, Cliff?
아니, 저택은 어느 정도 예외였어. 그래도 여전히 색이 구린 곳이긴 했지만.
No, the manor had some color, yeah. Though it's still far from vibrant.
동의 구려 피의 색 정도는 되찾았으면 싶군.
Agreed. This is the color of shit. Blood should have remained red.
그런데 저 자식 말이야. 저렇게 어설프게 색깔을 가진 채로 쏘다니면 괜히 뒤통수 얻어맞기 딱일 텐데.
That poor sot's going to get himself jumped wandering about with that look. That's just enough color to invite the bandits. Not even enough to keep them away, though. If this predictions came true soon enough, several thieves surrounded the bloke who's only trying to come off as though he's loaded and bashed him on the back of the head.
저런 극악무도 파렴치한 자들을 보았나?
Fie! A bunch of shameless villains they are!
혼자 다니는 무고한 시민을 단체로 핍박하고 있지 않나?
Bring on a weak civilian like a pack of hyenas!
갱단이라고 부르는 분들인가요?
Are they what you would call a gang?
물이 흐려졌군. 저런 걸 갱단이라고 부를 수도 없고 시간을 못 채운 하루 인생들인 거지.
The gangs of Teepcore have certainly seen better days. I wouldn't even call them a gang. They're just slow lives running out of time.
내가 떠나올 때만 해도 저런 버러지 같은 것들은 저렇게 버젓이 돌아다니지도 않았어.
Last time I was here, scums like couldn't even dare to infest the streets so brazenly. There are gangs that aren't scummy?
당연하지. 내가 있었던 갱단은 저런 식으로 만만한 놈한테 우르르 몰려가지 않았다고.
Sorry, I was taking a drink of water. Of course. The gangs I was in would never dogpile on some poor unarmed bloke like that.
탈론, 쌩쌩 달리고 싶어. 길이 막혀서.
Sharon wants to vroom vroom. Can't vroom vroom with a roadblock.
뭐 여기서 시간을 지체하는 것도 의미가 없지.
Well, there isn't much point in waiting for the situation to resolve itself. Virgilius finally spoke up after quietly listening in on our discussion for the last few minutes.
돈키호테가 시끄럽게 굴기 전에 내려서 처리하고 오도록.
Take care of them before Don Quixote starts making a fuss about it.
정의 집행이군. 고맙네.
Oh, an enactment of justice! I thank thee!
켈자베 씨도 익숙해졌나 봐 이제.
He's really starting to get the hang of this, huh? Oh, I didn't notice the shoes were red too. There's no time. No time at all. Your divvy. Let's go.
참 설레는구려.
뭐야? 이놈은 우리가 먼저 찜했어.
Away it gets. This one's ours.
너희도 시간이 부족해서 온 놈들인가 본데. 우리는 고작 30분밖에 안 남았다고.
Looks like you lot are running low on time as well. Tough luck. We've only got 30 minutes ourselves.
혹시 데드래비치 같은 갱단 쪽인 거 아닐까?
Oi, maybe they're one that did rabbits or something.
30분? 시간? 아니, 무슨 소리 하는 거야?
30 minutes? 30 minutes for what?
그럴 리가. 옛날에 작용단 활동 같은 걸 했던 테드레비치는 이지 없어. 회사가 마스크 쓰고 쾌한 눈으로 그냥 노려보기만 할 뿐이니까.
Ain't not possible. Ain't not possible. Ain't possible. The old dead rabbits of their vigilante ways are no more. All they do nowadays is staring at you funny from behind those odd masks.
뭐? 마스크?
Masks?
지금 뭐라고?
Wrong fucking voice. I'm supposed to do Heathcliff's voice. Masks. Wrong voice. Masks. There we go. Back into Heathcliff's voice, maybe. I don't know. Masks? What? What are you?
가뜩이나 시간 없어 죽겠는데 젠장. 후딱후딱 해치워주마.
Bollocks, we don't got time for this. Let's kill him quick. They began rushing at us with bloodshot eyes, not giving Heathcliff time to even finish his sentence. That's fine. We crave violence. And I'm happy to meet them on the battlefield.
주인님이 도착하기 전까지 끝내보자. 벽난로에 불도 지피고.
Go, Don Quixote! Shishke!
손발이 저녁 반찬 형태를 맞춰버린 손님들처럼 비틀거리고 있네. 한 접시 근사하게
Did we just stagger everyone? No, we didn't. But we did kill someone. Good stab. I think you're weak to bludgeoning based on that being fatal, but I can't tell.
광을 내볼 차례겠지?
I actually don't have any idea what their weaknesses is. I'm a Project Moon player. I don't read. Okay, it is fatal that. Oh, the resistance to piercing isn't that bad either, which is nice because we have a lot of piercing. Depression! Good job, Sinclair. Ale! Good job. Don Quixote got a stagger. Perfect. For depression! Wow. Actually, Sinclair is extremely depressed at the moment. Which is good for us, but also a little scary, I guess? Because now he has ego. Good job, Hung Blue.
적들이 치명상을 입은 상태네.
Alright, go Sinclair. Be depressed.
적들이 편하게 잠들 수 있도록
Good job, Don Quixote. Okay, he's at negative 44. So he's not panicking yet. Or he doesn't have his ego going wild, which is nice. Good job, Faust. Good stagger. And this should kill. There we go. Hi, Groovy. Welcome in. Heyo. Right.
당연한 결과죠.
Oh my god, Sinclair did so much. Ooh, 20 extra clocks. Ayo, nice clock. Don Quixote technically got third. Do you see the new Don ID animations? No, I have not. I would like to check them out, though, if you mind sending them to the chat.
파우스트가 나설 만한 곳이어야 할 겁니다.
야, 너
Oi.
모자 멋진데? 어디서 샀냐?
Want the link? It shows the roadie ID too. Sure, send me a link. Nice hat you got there. Where'd you get it?
다 가져가세요. 제 시계에서 원하시는 만큼 시간을 빼가셔도 됩니다.
I'm sorry. Please take everything. Take as much as you want. Here's my watch.
클리프군.
Sir Heathcliff! Heathcliff was looming over the man and growling threateningly. He certainly fit the look of a villain from this particular angle. Thank you for the link. We'll check it out after this story section.
야, 방금 건 그냥 칭찬한 거잖아. 이놈이 유독 오버해서 반응하는 거라고.
Lads, I'm just complimenting him for his sharp fashion choices. The lad's overreacting.
저는 이것 빼고는 완전 아무것도 없어요. 납치 같은 걸 해봤자 돈 나올 건덕지가 없다고요.
This is literally everything I have. I don't got any money for ransom even if you do kidnap me.
납치는 안 됩니다. 집에 기다리는 가족들이 있어요.
Please don't kidnap me. I've got a family. They're all waiting for me to come home. The man we inadvertently saved from the hands of thieves was shuddering and screaming incoherently, almost to an unnatural degree. And we're still not out of the dark alleyways, where other thieves might be waiting to get the jump on us.
무슨 시끄러운 소리가?
The hell is this racket? Oh.
이것들 뭐야? 이렇게 시간이 굴러 들어온다고?
Whoa, what do we have here? I think I've seen loads of time rolling in right before us.
10분, 아니 5분이라도 좋으니까 얼른!
10 minutes! No! We'll take 5 minutes, too! Head it over, now!
도대체가 이놈이고 저놈이고 왜 다들 시간 타령인 거야?
Why the hell is every fella here so obsessed with time?
아니면 모조리 해치운 뒤에 저 시계를 뺏어가는 방법밖에 없겠지.
Say, if you won't give it up willingly, we'll have to kill you all and take the clock for ourselves, eh? Huh? Clock? Wait, me? Hey yo, nice clock you got? Oh, I didn't do the thing for Ryushu. Just kill. I don't care. I don't need the extra time. At least not yet, anyways. Shishka! Ooh, not even a stagger! Yi-san! Okay, Sinclair almost killed there. If they inflicted burn, they will. Good job, Ryoshu. Okay, they did inflict burn, so that was a kill. As expected. Good kill, Don Quixote. Good kill, Hong Lu. Good kill, Faust. And good kill, Sinclair. Everyone's committing murder. Yay! Murder! I love murder in game. Specifically only in game. Good job, Sinclair. Just fucking tackle them. Good. Don Quixote's doing well over there. Someone got hit. Attack! Funk. Funk. Okay, Roshu's person's still up. Faust is going to kill. Good. Good job, Sinclair. Tackle! Tackle! Isang! Bonk, bonk, bonk. Don't cute. Yeah, she is so cute. Also, welcome in Medmir. Good kill, Faust. Head pat! Thank you. So many head pats today. You.
쳐라. 쓸데없이 네가 비명 지르는 바람에 일이 자꾸
Quiet.
꼬이잖아.
You attract even more of them to us.
당장 안 닥치면 사람 먹는 버스로 끌고 간 다음에 저 고철 덩어리한테 먹이는 수가 있다. 어?
Should you go up right now, or feed you the meat grinder back at our rickety? Cannibal bus. Is that clear?
그러면
Then
저를 납치하러 온 사람들이
you're
아닌가요?
you're not here to kidnap me?
그래. 몇 번이나 말했던 것 같지만.
Yeah, that person before us, right? It does indeed sound like a buzzing bee when she's head patted. That was, I think Thunder mentioned that. I thought it was in terms of my movements because sometimes my, like, the camera doesn't fully register how I'm moving and I just jump around. But I guess, like, the whimpering, I guess it could do that. I was told that it was whimpering when I do that, but that's fine. Yeah. For the... I don't even know how many times we've told you.
그럴 리가 없지 않소. 우리 앤 우연히 지나가는 정의로운 림버.
Of course not, indeed, for we are the Limbus fix. Just it. She is trying so hard not to say it.
아니, 나그네들이었어. 여기 있는 히스클리프군이 말투가 조금 괴팍하여 그렇지.
The passers-by of justice. So Heathcliff here can be rather brutish in its manner of speech, that is all.
그렇군요. 나그네.
Right. Passers-by of justice.
그런데 왜 돈이 아니라 시간을 달라고 하는 거죠?
So, why are they asking us for time and not money?
시간도 사고 팔 수 있는 걸까?
Maybe time's another commodity to be sold and bought here?
T사 가이드북 여전히 아직도?
Guys, is it just me again? The cheap guide. Did no one really... Ishmael's eyes start to glaze over. Once again, she may have been the only sinner who bothered to read up on her destination. Poor Ishmael, she's doing research and just no one does it with her.
즉 타임 트랙사에서는
In T-Corp, also known as Time Track Corporation. There we go, now we know the name of this corporation fully. So there's Lobotomy Corp and also Time Track. I think W Corp, actually no, we know W Corp, which is Warp, I think. Maybe not like full-on corporations, but I know that they specialize in warp trains. Ishmael is one of the only competent sinners, yeah.
시계를 신분증에
Though she did go on a rage in her canto.
이들이 지니고 있는 시계를 통하여 화폐 대신에 시간을 거래하기도 하오. 대부분의 근로자는 노동에 대한 보상을 시간으로 지급받지.
Its citizenry utilizes timepieces as personal identification. They often trade with time instead of physical currency. Their means of transaction done via the timepieces they carry. Most laborers in these lands are rewarded for their efforts with time. So we have Lobotomy Corp, Warp Corp, and Time Track Corp. Yep. Though actually, I think something that's really cool is the current W Corp actually does not, like, their singularity is not the warp trains. Their singularity is something else, and the warp trains were from the, oh no! So, I actually know what it is, but I don't know how far everyone's made it in Library of Ruina, so I'm not gonna spoil it. But, like, the warp trains themselves are from the previous W Corp. Well, the new W Corp is different. I wonder what the hell Z Corp could be, Zombie Corporation? The thing is, if you look at the map of the city, there isn't District 26. Z Corp doesn't show up on the map. So, we know very little about Z Corp. Y Corp is pretty large compared to some of the other ones, so maybe Y incorporated Z Corp? Like Z Corp fell recently? There's a lot of things about it that could... So many theories.
이상 씨를 봐서 이번엔 넘어가죠.
Z Corp is just under the entire city? Easy? I mean, maybe it's plumbing and that sort of thing. Could be. I don't know, though. Thanks for the explanation, Yi-sung. Let's slide this time. So, is this going to be a problem? Otis is the only one of us here who carries a watch.
아, 그 시간이 멈춰 있는 소목시계 말씀이죠? 패션용으로 착용하고 있는.
Oh, you mean her broken wristwatch? I always thought that wearing a stopwatch was a neat fashion statement. Watch them, they turn out to be a bigwig from Z Corp. I think he's Ian. I think he's probably Ian. But, yeah, he could be. Who knows?
패션용인 적은 없었다.
That works too. Yeah. I don't want him to be Ian because I don't like Ian to begin with. But I think it makes sense for it to be Ian, considering this is also a follow-up to Library of Ruina. It's not a fashion item. It never was. How insolent of you to assume.
그리고 아까 말한 납치라는 건 무슨 뜻이었어?
Right, I've been needing to ask. What got you so freaked out about a kidnapping earlier?
T사 길거리엔 사람들이 마구잡이로 납치당한다는 흉흉한 소문이 돌고 있어서요.
Oh, there's the pretty scary rumor of indiscriminate kidnappings going around these T-Corp streets.
이젠 아무도 다니지 않는 거리인데 이렇게 때로 다니시니 소문의 납치 조직인가 해서.
These are abandoned streets, so when I saw a dozen or so people running around together, I was scared that you guys might be the infamous kidnapping syndicate or something.
구체적으로 말해보도록. 육하 원칙을 활용하면 더 좋고.
We need details. I want the who, when, where, what, how, and why. Proceed.
실종자들 때문이에요.
People have been going missing around here.
최근 들어 이곳에서 사람들이 이유 없이 행방불명된다고 해요. 이젠 다들 안개가 자욱해지기만 해도 무서워서 집에만 박혀 있죠.
This kind of became the last known location for a bunch of missing people. Everyone becomes a shut-in during the foggy days because they don't want to get kidnapped.
마침 여기 굴러다니고 있는 디타임즈 신문지 일면에도 쓰여 있네요. 오리무중인 납치 사건, 충격, 경악, 공포. 시체조차 한 군도 발견되지 않아. 더 읽어드릴까요?
Look, it's even on the front page of the New York Times newspaper right here. For some reason, we're in New York now. Didn't know the city was made out of that, but okay. Mysterious kidnapping fears sweeps district. Not a single body found. I can keep reading if you want. Marcel, Rhodia, and Don Quixote began enthusiastically reading the sensationalized titles and attached articles in the newspaper showed us.
이 근처에 상을 받은 맛집이.
Oh. We gotta check out that award-winning eatery. It's not so far from where we are. I sneezed and my cat meowed. She 100% blesses you to me. She meowed again after I said thank you. That's so sweet. Meow. Meow, meow.
시간의 수 해결사들이 이런 인터뷰를.
Uh-huh. So the time retrieval fixers have said as such in these interviews. Are you guys even reading the same article?
확실히 평소보다 지나다니는 인간들이 훨씬 줄어들었어.
Well, that's right. There's a lot less people around here than I remember.
여기는 원래 공장으로 일하러 가는 노동자나 조잡한 장비를 팔러 나온 발명가들이 붐비던 거리야. 이렇게 거리가 텅텅 비었던 적은 없었는데.
This street used to be packed with workers headed to their factory jobs and inventors selling their useless trinkets. It's never been this empty. This empty street of T-Corp was thick with fog, the bustling crowd from Heathcliff's memories now or nowhere to be seen. Maybe the lack of color made the fog appear even thicker.
일전 검계와의 소동에서 들었던 괴담과 흡사한 이야기인 것 같군.
This reminds me of the kidnapping rumor we heard when we were working on the Blade lineage case.
행방불명이라. 역시 사람을 납치해서 팔아넘기는 악질적인 조직이 있는 걸까요?
Missing people. Maybe there really is a messed up kidnapping, human trafficking syndicate roaming in this area. It's the city. I wouldn't doubt it for a second.
그런 놈들이 대놓고 활보한다는 이야기는 못 들었는데. 적어도 내가 있었을 때.
I've never heard of such a syndicate strutting about this place. Back when I lived here, at least.
인신매매 따위가 목적인 조직이 있다면 흔적 하나둘은 남을 수밖에 없다.
It is a statistical impossibility for human trafficking syndicate to leave zero evidence behind. There's bound to be one or two they'd let slip between their fingers.
거리를 이렇게 만들 정도로 거대한 움직임이라면 더더욱 시체 한 돌 정도는 찾기 마련이다.
Especially if the syndicate is so prolific to the point of indirectly discouraging the public from leaving their homes. A body or two will invariably be found.
시체도 남지 않는다는 건 단지 죽거나 죽이는 정도의 내용이 아닌.
If they really didn't leave any bodies, then maybe it's worse than just your usual murders.
깊이 파고들수록 위험한 일일 수 있다는 건가요?
Maybe it'll be more dangerous the more we look into it? If it's not just another violent tragedy, then maybe there's more to this than we think. Maybe there's some powerful organization pulling the strings. I wouldn't doubt that T-Corp's stealing people off the streets to steal their time.
아니, 시체만으로는 그렇게 보기 힘들지 않나?
No, that's not a conjecture to make just from the fact that no bodies have been found.
네?
I'm sorry?
뒷골목에 밤이 있잖아.
Guys, the night in the back streets?
그 청소부들이 지나가면 시체를 포함한 쓰레기들은 전부 청소되어 있으니까.
A single sweep from the sweepers leaves nothing behind. Every trash in the back streets, including corpses, is completely cleaned up. Do we gotta fight the sweepers?
그렇군.
I wanna fight the sweepers.
시체까지 말끔하게 치워버릴 수도 있겠네.
Right, they clean up even the corpses. Yeah.
당연히 쓰레기만 청소하는 게 아니라는 건 무서운 일이지만.
Of course, it's kind of scary that they clean up more than just trash. Yeah, the idea of sweepers really freaked Sinclair out for a while.
그건 밤마다 로저 씨가 이상한 흉내를 내면서 저한테만.
That's because Rhodia kept making funny noises and sweeper impressions at me every night. Poor Sinclair. Feel bad for him. Oh, let me grab that
당연한 결과죠.
Twitter link.
저는 선택받았으니까.
And then I will open it up
그렇겠죠?
so we can take a look.
버스 컴퍼니!
Limbus Company! Alright. Window, here, X. There we go. Limbus Company! I'm just gonna make sure it's up. Perfect. Wait, I should probably mute my game, huh? That might help. We're not gonna pay attention to the rankings. The rankings are wrong again. Can I please mute everything? Audio, there we go. Cool. Now we're ready. Let's go.
림버스 컴퍼니!
Limbus Company!
이런 구질구질한 색의 고기를 시간 내서 먹고 있다니. 뭐 너무 그렇게 보진 마. 납부할 시간세 고작 3시간쯤 더 얹어서 징수한 거니까. 열심히 일했는데 내 목숨
I'm actually really digging
이렇게라도
Rhodia's new one.
안 하면 우리도
Holy
시간이
shit.
부족하다고. 아, 실례하겠네. 본인은 T사 3등급 직원으로 시간 징수를 맡고 있는 몸일세. 왜 왔는지는 알고 있겠지? 도시가 올바른 시간의 흐름을 가질 수 있게 조력할 수 있다니 나에게 깃털로서도 최고의 보람이 아니겠는가?
Oh my god, Don Quixote!
시간 징수 집행. 혹시나 그대의 시간이 잘못 빨려 들어갈 수 있으니 거리에 주의하게나.
림버스 컴퍼니!
Limbus Company! Wait, it restarted? Okay. Don time. Don there in the background is so happy. She gave homegirl a mech suit. Yeah, she gave her a mech suit. That looks sick. It's so cool. Very interested in seeing it now. Limbus Company! Let me get back in here. Okay, so we'll actually, how long till that release? How long does this go? This goes for another week, so it's probably coming next week, and that means we should be saving Lunacy. We also already got everything from that.
거리에서 일어나는
Multiple times, actually.
실종 사건이라.
I was just about to ask that. Should be in a week, yeah. Cool. Mr. Case of missing persons in a street shrouded in thick, heavy fog.
무슨 괴담 같네요. 무서운 건 아니고요.
It's almost as if we're in the middle of some scary urban legend. Not that I'm scared. Not at all.
억지로 웃지 않아도 돼, 싱클레어.
Don't force yourself to laugh, Sinclair.
불길하네. 첫 판부터 주눅 드는 기세로 가면 좋지 않은데.
I don't like this at all. We're this scared so soon after entering the nest. Everyone seems to be on edge, thanks to the unsettling story we heard earlier. I know what to do. Hey, Heathcliff, that invitation, can you read it out loud for us again? It would be a good idea to remind ourselves of our current mission. Besides, I could use a refresher myself.
그까지 초대장 읽어서 뭐 하라고?
I'm not saving lunacy. Got 20 tickets and almost 100 boxes. Oh my god. Holy shit. Like PE boxes or like the shard boxes? Because either way, that's a lot. It's just an invitation. There ain't anything special about it. Shard boxes? Got it. The neatly folded invitation Heathcliff produced from his pockets completely betrayed his attempt to appear aloof. It was folded with such tender care that it almost resembled a neat paper craft. He cleared his throat. Sometime later.
부디 참석하시어 이 자리를 빛내주시면 감사하겠습니다.
Please honor this occasion with your presence.
경의를 담아, 넬리.
With great respect, Nelly.
그리고
And
아이씨.
bollocks.
꼭 와야 해, 있어. 기다리고 있을게.
You have to be here,
캐시가.
Heath. I'll be waiting. Kathy. Got 80 energy boxes and over 150 modules. What the fuck are you sitting on all those for? Damn. Woo! This wasn't exactly what I had in mind when I asked him to read that letter.
여기가 무슨 동네 술집이에요?
What are we? A party crowd at some dive bar?
이런 분위기 아니었어?
I don't have anything to spend it on? You know what? That's fair. Oh, that wasn't what we were going for?
내가 이럴 줄 알았지. 화낼 기분도 안 나네.
I knew that this would happen. I ain't even mad.
애초에 기다린다고 했을 뿐이지 만나고 싶다고 한 것도 아니고.
Besides, all she said is that she'd be waiting. She never said that she missed me or wanted to see me.
아니, 그래도 말이야. 이 문구를 보면은
Come on, bud. Just look at the way she wrote it. Here.
어디?
Let me see. I'm only missing two things from the shop. KK Rhodia and W. Court Mersal. Oh, okay. Just spend your shards to get them, forehead. Some sinners gather in a circle, like they're literally, they're doing a literally, Some sinners gather in a circle like they're doing a literary analysis of the invitation letter. I'm a fucking English teacher, yet I can't pronounce that. Or at least I was. Maybe I was worrying too much.
꼭 연애 편지 처음 받아보는 학생들 같네요.
They're like school kids opening their first love letters. Girl forgot English, yeah. Don't wanna, they have a standard fare, not even worth leveling up. Just get them anyways, forehead, so that you complete the set.
뭐야, 싱클레어는 저런 거에 관심 없었어?
What? Were you never ever interested in those things, Sinclair?
저는 열심히 공부만 했어요. 책과 칠판만 보면서 성실히 살았다고요.
I was a good, diligent student. The only things I ever cared about were my textbooks and the school lectures. Counter-argument, save boxes for Don Quixote. True. Maybe if they become relevant or I have enough shards to get them out right? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Shards to get them out right. Sinclair! That countenance appeareth to be turning rosy again.
체질이라고 지난번에 말했잖아요.
For last time, I said it's genetics!
그럼
Most likely at the end of the season? That's her. What about you, Dante?
아니다.
Oh, never mind. Hey, what's with that oddly sorry look on your face?
안타까울 필요는 없다. 세상엔 많은 취향이 존재하고 있으니.
The manager has no need for your sympathy. I am certain that there are those who appreciate their unique appearance.
Thanks.
그런데 이상하지 않소?
Dante definitely had 100 love letters a month. And he just set him on fire. That's why his block's on fire. Is it not odd?
히스클리프 씨가 연애 편지를 받는 게요?
What? That someone actually wrote Heathcliff a love letter?
이상 씨, 그런 말은 좀 너무하네요.
Oh my, Yi-sung. That's such a weird thing to say.
아니, 그런 무례한 말을 한 것이 아니라 나는
No, I had no intention of relaying any crass sentiments to.
농담이에요, 농담. 저도 이상 씨랑 같은 걸 느꼈으니까요.
Just kidding, Yi-sung. Just kidding. I was actually thinking the same thing. Dante has the entire NP community behind them. It's true, they do.
T사 어딘가에 있을 로보토미 지부가 아니라 다 같이 워더링 하이츠라는 저택으로 향한다는 건
Since we're not looking for a lobotomy corp branch of T-Corp, since we're heading to this Wuthering Heights Manor instead,
그곳으로 도달해야 황금 가지를 얻을 수 있다는 소리일 테니까.
I suppose that that's where we'll find the Golden Bough.
정확하게 짚어주었구려, 이스마일 양.
Was precisely what I intended to convey, Miss Ishmael. MB is shorthand for non-binary. Yep, it is. Definitely didn't need that reminder myself, but I knew it was part of the LGBTQ community.
찬물 끼얹는 역할을 하는 것도 슬슬 지겨워져.
The they-thems are very helpful for Dante.
때마침 고마운 지적을 하는군.
Thank you for bringing that up. I was starting to get tired of being the bringer of unpleasant news.
우리가 워더링 하이츠로 향하는 이유가 설마 저 편지 한 장 때문이라고 생각한다면 큰 실망을 느꼈을 거다.
We don't really know Dante's gender, so... Hopefully... Oh wait, wrong voice.
Hopefully, none of you are under the impression that we're headed to Wuthering Heights just because of some invitation Heathcliff received. Because if you are, you'll be sorely disappointed.
그래서 이 문맥을 보면 결국 하려는 말이
Right. So if we're looking at the context she wrote this in, what she's really trying to say here is...
아니, 그보다는 이 어투를 봐야지.
No, you gotta look at the tone she used here.
뭐 일단 넘어가죠.
Sure, moving on.
LCCB로부터 황금가지의 관측 보고가 있었습니다.
There's a report from the LCCB that a golden bough has been observed.
위치는 워더링 하이츠 저택 어딘가.
They narrowed its location down to somewhere within the Wuthering Heights Manor. Because it's headcanon things, does that count as a headcanon?
하지만
Yeah, I think that's headcanon, because it's your belief,
LCCB 틈이 잠입하는 것은 위험보다
not the actual lore.
황금가지의
That's
정확한
fine.
위치는 파악이 되지 못했습니다.
But there's a significant risk, on account of the manor's unique security system, that prevented the 4 team from conducting their on-site preliminary survey. The exact location of the bough has yet to be identified.
특유의 보안 시스템? 그런 게 있었나?
Unique security measures? Not sure if I remember anything like that.
그렇다면 더더욱 네, 이상하다고밖에 말할 수 없겠네요.
Right, even if it's even more odd. Or, right, then it's even more odd. Fuck, I can't read! No other ways to put it.
동의하오.
I can read chat, but I can't read the fucking story.
정확히 알고 있는 것은 아니지만
Indeed. Though I remain ignorant as the monetary value and public perception of its worth.
평범한 저택 안에 그런 것이 놓여 있을 리가 만무할 것 같소.
I do know that the golden bough is not an item so easily obtainable that it may be housed in a normal private manner.
황금가지가 처음부터 그곳에 위치해 있었던 것은 아니었다. 정도만 말씀드리죠.
It can be shared that the golden bough wasn't always located inside the manor.
T사 로보토미 지부 어딘가에 있었던 황금가지가 모종의 이유로 저택으로 옮겨졌다는 것이구려.
I see. Then, the Golden Bough, its previous location in an unknown area within the T-Corp's Lobotomy Corp branch, has been transferred to the manor for a reason we are yet to be aware of.
캐서린이라는 인물이 이번 작전의 핵심이겠군요.
Right. Then this Catherine person will be a major part of this operation.
황금 가지를 자기 저택 안에 소유하고 있는 자라니.
To have a golden bowl to herself in that manner.
그리고 황금 가지가 아니더라도 히스클리프 씨가 자신을 보러 저택에 와줄 거라고 믿어 의심치 않는 아주 자신만만한 사람일 거고요.
She's gotta be one confident woman too. Confident enough to believe that Heathcliff will come to the manor just to see her face, even if it wasn't for the golden bowl. None of this conversation seemed to even register to Heathcliff, however.
혹시 주위에 이발소나 양품점이 보이면 말해줘.
Oi, let me see if let me know if you see a barbershop or a boutique nearby.
무슨 명소마다 멈춰서는 관광버스로 생각하고 있는 건
This isn't a tour bus, Heathcliff. We will not make unnecessary stops like the ones you suggest.
그냥 나를 내려주고 먼저 가도 되잖아. 뒤따라갈 수 있어.
Right, I get it. Then why don't you just leave me behind and go up ahead? I'll catch up.
제가 두 눈 커다랗게 뜨고 계속 보고 있는데 말이죠, 히스클리프 씨.
So, Heathcliff, I've been watching the shops very closely.
아까의 그 소문 때문인지는 몰라도 이 시간에 길거리에 열려 있는 가게가 보이지 않아요. 안개가 자욱해서 더 그런가 싶기도 하네요.
But I haven't noticed a single open shop. Might be because of the rumors from earlier in the fog.
역시 저랑 로자 씨한테 맡겨보시는 게 제일...
Why don't you just leave it to us, Rhodey and I?
아이씨, 야 잠깐.
What the hell are you? Wait! Heathcliff has perished inside the bus. He cannot ever be brought back. Colors! Ayo? Fixers? The bus emerged from the back streets into a rather quiet-looking village. He's been dragged into the depths of the dress-up hell. Yeah. The fog was still thick, and everything was still in that faded hue. Even the occasional sightings of pedestrians had ceased. The very idea of color variation seemed like an alien concept here. All I see are orange-hued lights coming through the windows of misty gray buildings. It was as though everyone decided to stay indoors for the day. Which they did. I can't even tell where we are, or how close we are from our destination anymore. Have you been here by any chance, Isung? He was the only other sinner who had spent a while in T-Corp, so I decided to ask if he recognized anything, but it was evident that the scenery was unfamiliar to him.
나는 최대한 사람들의 눈을 끌지 않으며 연구와 생업에 몰두하고자 하였지. 하여 T사를 그리 자유로이 오가진 못했소.
Though I've resided here for some time, most of my hours were spent earning a living and conducting my research when I could afford to do so. Thus I have not ventured freely the streets of T-Corp. I can't imagine doing any research at a place like this. Can't have been easy.
익숙해지면 괜찮소. 오히려 이곳에서 나고 자란 이들에겐 색이 있다는 것이 신기한 것이니.
It's quite manageable once one grows accustomed to this monochromatic sight. The presence of variance in color itself is a concept alien to those who are born and raised in these lands.
그리고 나는 잠시나마 기댈 수 있는 자들이 있었네. 이는 낯선 곳에 적응하는데 꽤 많은 도움이 되지.
And I had the shoulders of those I could lean on, even for a fleeting moment. It helps to have such support when acclimating to a place as foreign as this. Isung looks away at a place far beyond from here. Memories of his past, most likely.
T사의 특이점이 어떤
Sorry, I'm
것인지에
tired. I
대해선
could tea today.
아는 게 있나요?
Did you ever hear anything about what T-Corp singularity is?
그것에 대해선 특이점이 의뢰 그렇듯 나도 무어라 정확히 추론할 수는 없는 작동 원리라 함이 맞겠소.
As all singularities are. Its true nature, its mechanisms, and function are all something of an enigma. Yet, Yusung paused and carefully began to speak.
시간과 관련이 되어 있다는 것만은 알고 있었어. 정확히 어떠한 시간을 어떻게 다루는지는 모르겠지만
I'm aware that it has aught to do with time, though I was unsure of its use.
이 또한 부질없는 추측이며 답은 파우스트 양만이 알겠소만.
Well, I suppose all this is but meaningless conjecture. Only Faust among us must be aware of these answers.
T사가 거주자들로부터 끊임없이 색을 빼앗아가는 이유 중 하나죠.
Its singularity is one of the reasons T-Corp constantly drains colors from its inhabitants.
그게 색이랑 무슨 상관인데?
What's time got to do with color?
시간을 필연적으로 제어해야 하는 곳이라면 빛과 연관이 있는 영역일 것이며
If the control of time is so imperative to T-Corp's operations, then it must also control the realm of light.
빛은 또한 색과도 밀접한 관련이 있으니 종국엔 색과 얽히게 되는 것입니다.
As light inherently has much to do with the spectrums of colors, these two subjects eventually overlap.
제가 알고 있는 시간에 대해서까진 추론이 가능했습니다만 파우스트가 가진 T사의 특이점과 관련된 지식에 접근하기까지는 저에게 아직은 시간이 걸린다는 말도
That's as far as I could deduce regarding the concept of time that I am aware of. Yet, it must also be said that it takes time for me to reach Faust's specific knowledge regarding T-Corp singularity. Who are you? What have you done with Faust? Faust? None among us. Or her, maybe, and perhaps, rarely ever gave us answers this detailed. Then now's the time to ask her all my questions.
파우스트 양, 시간이라면
I choose to believe they just figured that they could mess with colors and decided, hey, we can get money out of this. You know what? It's the city. Makes sense to me. Miss Faust, as we discuss the subject of time.
네, T사에 관한 이야기는 여기까지 하는 편이 안전하겠군요.
Indeed, it would be safe for us to move on from the subject of T-Corp at this time. Aww. Faust is Faust, but Faust is not Faust. Faust is only Faust.
또 말해줄 것처럼 하다가
So
입을
confusing.
닫아버렸네.
Here she goes again, teasing us with stuff she's not going to tell us anyways. Well, I guess she should be glad that she decided to tell us this much. Doubt she'll tell us more no matter how much we pry.
그런데 좀 씁쓸하네요.
That's kinda sad.
특이점으로 인해서 평생 색을 모른 채로 살아가는 사람들도 있단 거잖아요.
That there are people who never seen color their whole lives. All because of the singularity.
뭐 다 그런 거지. 우리도 어쩌면 지금 다른 사람이 볼 때 뭣도 모르고 사는 불쌍한 사람일 수도 있으니까.
Well, that's just how it goes, isn't it? In the eyes of a stranger, we'd just be another one of those poor, miserable people who'd never seen color.
뭐가 되었든 고기 맛을 한번 본 적이 있다는 게 무서운 거야. 평생 모르고 살면 좋을 텐데. 기어코 고기 맛을 보면 알기 전으로 돌아가기는 불가능하니까.
That's the danger in trying your very first bite of meat. You taste it once, and you'll never unknow the flavor. And in the end, you'll start to wish you never tried it.
햇빛의 색깔까지 보이지 않는 건 아쉽네요.
It's pretty disappointing that even the sun loses its vibrancy here.
하늘의 색이 그리워질 때는 많았어. 특히 얕게 비가 올 때는.
Oft did I long to see the colors of the sky, especially the sky that looms over a light shower of rain.
그래, 그런 것들도 각자 알던 하늘의 색이 있었으니까 아쉽고 그리워지게 되는 거지.
Yeah.
처음부터 이곳의 하늘만 보고 살다 죽는다면 그건 불행도 아닐 거야.
Yeah, things like the color of the sky too. You long to see it only because you've seen its beauty. If you're born here, never to escape its borders to the last of your days without ever seeing a blue sky. I'd hardly call that death miserable.
그것까지 불행하다고 말한다면 오히려 오만한 게 되는 거지.
Calling even that miserable is nothing but sheltered arrogance.
그렇게 생각할 수도 있겠네요.
I guess that could also be true. The atmosphere in the bus suddenly became incredibly frosty.
아, 그거 해보자. 가장 좋아하는 색깔이 뭔지에 따라서 각자 성격을 알 수 있다던데.
Oh, hey, speaking of color, I've got something to ask ya. Have you guys ever heard of the colors game? Apparently each type of color, or each type of personality has a corresponding color. Well, in anime, yeah, it's very easy to line up the colors to certain archetypes. Red typically means hot-headed, that sort of thing. Blue is closer to, like, reserved. Yellow is typically upbeat, optimistic, that sort of thing. Rhodia, who's the one to chill the bus in the first place, was also the first to break the ice.
이상이 하늘색을 좋아하는 거라면 어디 보자. 고요하고 조용한 당신, 생각에 빠져 잠기는 걸 좋아하는군요.
If Yoosung enjoys the light blue color of the sky, then let's see. You must be a thinker and a philosopher who prefers the calm and quiet.
오, 어떻게 하는 것이오? 그거 참 기묘한 재주로군.
Oh, how did you come to know that? That's quite remarkable talent you have. Because he's fucking talked about it? Maybe that's why?
나도 해줘. 나는 말이지 붉은색이 좋소. 아니 노란색. 아니 붉은색? 아니.
Hark! Hark! I wish my favorite color to be rated as well. Forsooth, I'm quite fancy the color red. Nay, yellow. Nay, red. Nay.
자, 차례를 기다려. 그 다음에는 파우스트.
Now, wait your turn. Next in the order is Faust. Donna's the best. Yeah, I'm actually starting to wave my arms like the voice actor does when I'm reading her lines. So, I'm trying it out, and it's fun. I like it. It gets me in the mood.
저는
잠깐. 무슨 말 할지 다 알아. 파우스트는 대체로 그런 걸 믿지 않는답니다. 라고 하겠지?
Wait up. I know exactly what you're trying to say. You're about to say Faust does not hold much belief in such ideations, or something like that, right?
그런 사람은 대체로 흰색을 좋아하더라고. 그렇지? 자기 머리색이랑도 똑같네.
Which is exactly what people who like the color white would say, am I right? Like your hair's white too.
그저 말을 아끼겠습니다.
I'll not comment further on this subject.
나? 제일 좋아하는 색깔?
Me? My favorite color?
참, 뭘 그딴 걸 물어봐, 남사스럽게.
What a stupid question. That's enough, lass.
나는
What I like... He pauses. A great manor begins to emerge into our view from a distance. I can immediately tell that this was the Wuthering Heights manor Heathcliff had mentioned.
검은색.
Black.
모든 물감을 다 섞어버리면 나오는 색 아닌가? 그거.
It's the color you get when you dump an entire set of paint into a bucket, isn't it?
그래서 제일 볼만한 색깔이지. 덧칠만 계속 해버리면 되는 거니까.
And that's exactly why I tolerate it. Keep throwing paint over paint over paint and you get black. Simple. I can clearly hear that Heathcliff is muttering through gritted teeth. I have a feeling that black wasn't always his favorite color. Yay! Lunacy. The makeover! There's a lot of story here. I want fights. I crave violence. Two things changed the moment the Wuthering Heights manor appeared over the horizon.
거울 있는 사람 없냐? 야, 뭐 아무거나 내놔봐.
Heath loves the color blue. Shh, really? Okay, Swaggy Star. I guess I'll have to... or retain that idea for now. We might find out later in his canto, but I'm not entirely sure if that's right. But sure, I'll believe it's blue for now. You'll have your fights and much more in a bit, but I want to fight now! I want violence in-game. Mirror. I need a mirror. Anyone got a mirror? Come on. Anyone?
왜 이러시는가, 히스클리프군?
What has gotten into you, Heath?
이 거울은
This mirror isn't... One was Heath, who was suddenly overcome with intense anxiety. And the other was the weather that grew dark and tempestuous all of a sudden. Tempestuous storms. What a terrifying noise. You almost sound like that girl from Willy Wonka. I don't even know that girl from Willy Wonka. There's a lot of girls in Willy Wonka now that I think about it. What a terrifying noise.
원래 이렇게 날씨가 궂은 곳이었나요?
Was the weather here always this awful?
바람은 항상 거세게 몰아치긴 했어. 거의 폭풍 수준이었지.
It was always this windy, yeah. Almost like a constant tempest.
하지만 이런 천둥이랑 번개는
But this thunder and lightning?
뭐 워더링 하이츠의 날씨는 어느 쪽이든 꾸릿꾸릿했지만
Sorry, give me a second. Cool. Well, the weather at Wuthering Heights was always this awful, thunder or not. The one who always shouts, "Daddy, I want it now!" Daddy, please. I really want those head pats. Please, Daddy. No! Not the spray! I didn't ask for this! It's so mean! No! 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 My feelings, my day is ruined. Well, the weather at Wuthering Heights was always this awful, thunder or not.
멀리서만 봐도 저택이 정말 크네요.
That really is one impressive manor if it looks that big from this far away.
침침한 눈의 카론. 침침하게 도착.
Sharon can't see well. Not sure if this is the right place, but we're here.
번개가 번쩍번쩍. 눈 아파.
Lightning goes boom, eyes go ow. This manor looked as though it came straight out of a dark gothic tale full of mysteries. I was half expecting to hear a haunting cry echoing from this window. Or from its windows. So, are we just waiting for Virgilius to go off the bus again?
안 그런 적이 없지 않았나?
그래도
When hasn't that been the case,
지금까지는
Manager Bud?
집이거나 회사였잖아요. 이번에는 그냥 저택일 뿐인데.
I mean, it's not like we're digging into a lobotomy corp branch or entering one of the wings, right? It's just a manor, so I don't see what's stopping him from coming with us.
자, 내리지.
No, off the bus.
나와 카루는
Sharon and I.
이번에도 밖에서 기다리고 있겠다고?
We'll wait outside until we're done with our mission. None of the sinners were hiding their dissatisfaction with Virgilius. Some of them were even standing with their arms crossed.
다들 표정을 보아하니 단체로 할 말이라도 있는 듯한 모양새군.
By the looks on your faces, clearly you all collectively have something to say.
본인은 아닐세. 감히. 아무튼 아무 생각도.
Of course not. I would hardly ever dare to challenge the... Well, maybe not every sinner. We've gone through a lot of things, survived various trials and tribulations. Tribulations that could have been easily hindered had Virgilius been there with us. So... Virgilius. Looks like Ishmael decided to step up as a representative. And she will need to be revived in a few minutes.
처음에 길잡이라고 우리에게 소개하지 않았나요?
You introduced yourself to us as our guide, didn't you?
그런데 길잡이는커녕 매번 작전마다 우리를 출발선에 내려두고 카론 씨랑 무엇을 하러 다니는 건데요?
So what kind of guide just tosses everyone at the start of the journey and goes off on their own with the bus driver? Where are you guys even going?
쓸데없이 짜증 부리는 게 아니라고요. 이 점은 확실히 하죠.
I want to make it clear that I'm not being a hard ass for no good reason.
저는 당신을 신뢰하고 싶으니까 물어보는 거예요.
I'm asking you because I want to trust you.
같은 부서의 동료라면 적어도 업무 간 행선지 정도는 공유하자고요.
After all, we're technically all in the same boat. We're co-workers. I'd say the least you could do is to tell us where we're headed. Virgilius held his silence. For a moment, his brows were not as furrowed as they usually are, which is the only indicator to me that he wasn't offended to hear this as I thought he'd be.
너희가 특정 계약을 통해 이곳에 입사를 한 것처럼
Just like you sinners who joined this company via your individual contracts.
나 역시도 어떤 조건이 적혀 있는 계약서를 통해 이곳에 입사했지.
I also signed a contract with specific clauses and conditions I must abide by.
왜? 특색나리께서도 계약서를 썼다는 말인겐가?
Huh? The company made the a color most illustrious sign a contract as well?
당연하지 않나. 내가 아무 손익계산 없이 이 버스에서 철부지들을 통솔하고 있겠나.
Of course I did. Why would I be babysitting you children on this bus otherwise? I'm not one to work for free.
자세한 계약의 내용까지 너희에게 말해줄 생각도 없고 언급해서도 안 되겠지만
I don't want to be bothered detailing each and every clause of my contract to you, nor should I.
이스마엘, 네가 말한 신뢰라는 단어는 제법 마음에 들었다. 그러니 간단하게만 언급해두지.
But Ishmael, I quite like that you use the word trust in your speech. So I'll provide you with what you deserve. Or I believe you deserve at least a brief explanation.
나는 황금가지를 직접 회수해서도 직접적인 도움을 제공해서도 안 된다. 오로지 여기 있는 관리자 그리고 너희 수감자들에게
I am not
맡겨야만 하지.
supposed to retrieve the golden bells myself, nor am I allowed to provide you with any direct support. Contract stipulates that I must leave everything to the manager and the sinners.
왜 그런 계약을?
Why the hell would you sign a contract like that?
언제나 왜냐고 묻는 것은 의미가 없다.
As always, it's meaningless to ask me why.
계약이란 건 당사자가 아닌 자들이 완전하게 이해할 수 없는 형태로 이루어지니.
Contracts are rarely ever fully understood by those that are not a part of it.
다만
But
목적지에 도착해서 너희들을 버스에서 내리라고 말을 할 때
what I can tell you is that when I ask you sinners to leave this bus for a mission,
그래도 마음을 어느 정도 놓고 보낼 수는 있게 되었다고는 말할 수 있겠군.
I suppose, no way. I say it with a lighter heart than I used to.
모든 것을 얻어내겠다는 욕심으로 무리하게 계약을 지키려다 관리자가 돌이킬 수 없는 지경으로 가게 되어 다 잃지는 않을까 하는 고민은 덜었지.
I am no longer concerned that, in my desire to fulfill the conditions for every clause in my contract, the manager might be irreversibly hurt. I'd be left with nothing if such a thing were to happen. Did he just admit to trusting us more than he used to?
단테, 그런 말은 굳이 한 번 더 물어보지 않는 편이 좋아.
Don't make him repeat something like that, Dante.
특히 누군가 속마음을 어렵게 겨우 표현했을 때는.
Especially when someone went through the trouble of expressing their true hidden feelings.
그리고
Besides...
잠깐만.
Wait.
이대로 내릴 수는 없어.
I'm not going in there like this.
안 되겠어. 다시 돌아가자. 유턴하면 되잖아.
Nope, can't do this. Oi! To the bus around!
매피에는 유턴.
Matthew doesn't do U-turns.
이런 꼴로 어떻게 다시 저택에 돌아가라는 거야?
Bullocks. I ain't going back to the manor of these wrinkly rags! Oh yeah, right. Every single one of our elaborated plans to dress him up in fancy clothes fell through. I forgot about that. Hey, you don't look that bad.
이런 꼬라지로 가면 또다시 그 새끼들이.
If I don't go back in these rags, those bastards will... The only U-turns Mephi takes is sick drifts. Yeah, just drift off the mountain.
그 새끼들이 누군데요?
Those bastards? Who are they?
있어.
That bastard has to be alive still.
흔적을 구석없는지 눈알을 굴려대네.
Bastard, that's always eyeing me up and down, trying to find a speck of dust, a single flaw, something to latch onto just to humiliate me. I'll spray you? Why are you gonna spray me? I didn't do anything wrong this time. No, I don't want to be sprayed. No. No.
눈깔 다 내버려.
Then gouge out their eyes.
재치 있는 발상이.
Oh, that would be quite the clever solution.
What?
What are you even... Looks like Heathcliff is the only one who's taking this seriously. Alright, those two are getting it on over there. That's fine.
뭔데? 니들은 왜 그렇게 음흉하게 웃어?
The hell is wrong with the pair of you? Quit giggling like that.
그럴 줄 알고 우리가 준비를 미리 해왔죠.
Good thing we came prepared exactly for this occasion.
아무리 생각해도 우리 히스가 혼자서 멀끔하게 꾸미긴 힘들 것 같아서.
I just couldn't imagine Heath managing to pull off this makeover on his own.
꽤 전에 로자님과 함께 둥지로 돌아오기 전 뒷골목에서 잠깐 쇼핑을 하다 왔답니다.
Rhodia and I did some shopping in the back streets before we entered the nest.
둥지 안에는 뒷골목보다 대단한 게 있을지도 모르니 기다려봤는데 뭐 살만한 곳이 없으니까 아쉬운 대로 사둔 걸 써야지.
We were waiting to reveal these just in case that there is anything more impressive in the nest, but thanks to the disappointing lack of anything even remotely interesting, we'll just make do with what we picked earlier.
뭐 설마 전에 둘이 어디 갔다 온다 했을 때 아니 근데 그때 과자만 한 바구니 사왔길래
Wait a bloody second. When the two of you went off on your own. No, all you brought back was a whole basket of cookies, wasn't it?
과자들은 눈속임이었어, 히스. 물론 그중 몇 개는 내 일용할 양식으로 잘 써먹었지만.
Those cookies were decoy cookies, Heath. So, though some of them did end up as part of my daily sustenance, of course.
비록 제가 집에서 썼던 브랜드들까지 찾지는 못했지만 이만 해도 어느 정도의 멋부림은 낼 수 있을 거예요.
Well, I couldn't find the proper brands I use it back at home. These should be more than enough for a proper fashion makeover. I assume so too.
베르, 훈훈한 분위기 이어가게 이번만 눈 좀 감아줘. 응? 유니폼 말이야.
Bert, come on, can't we keep this like nice and happy for once? Let him wear something else other than his uniform, just for today.
회사 유니폼을 입고 오랜만에 애인을 제외하고 싶은 사람이 어디 있겠어? 그치?
Like, no one wants to meet their old flame while wearing work clothes, right?
그래도 저 길잡이가 용케도 허락을 해주게.
Well, I doubt the guy'll ever let anything like that slide. Fine. What?
또 멋대로 작당해서 뒷문을 들락거리는 건 피하고 싶으니.
I'd prefer it if we didn't have to encourage another rogue incident with the back door.
정말이야? 길잡이!
Seriously? God! Heathcliff trembled like he was about to give Virgilius a big hug.
자, 히스클리프 씨, 이제 눈을 감고
Now, Heathcliff, close your eyes.
무릉도원이라 생각하면서 편안하게 몸과 마음을 맡기세요.
Relax, and let us take care of everything. Pretend that you're proverbial peach blossom spring.
잠깐, 머리 함부로 그렇게.
Wait, don't touch my hair like. Oh.
솜씨가 보통이 아닌데.
What? You ain't half bad. Yeah, they're not using a spray bottle to attack your face, Heath. You're fine.
히스클리프 씨는 지금 단장 중이랍니다.
I love the chibi art. It's so cute. Shh. Heathcliff's getting a makeover. Sometime later. Oh my god. It also has color. He's a new man. He is a new man.
머리에 너무 바른 거 아니야?
I think you might have overdone it with the hair.
안 돼. 홍루가 얼마나 공들여서 손질해줬는데 그렇게 만지면.
Don't touch it. Do you even have any idea how hard Honglu worked on that?
들고 있던 몽둥이는 어디 갔죠?
Where does back go?
몇 년 만에 재회인데 몽둥이를 들고 만날 순 없잖아.
It's a reunion of the century. Can't possibly let him say hello to his old flame with a big brutish club in his hand.
히스클리프 군이 왠지 친절해 보이는 것 같소. 이를테면 아이스크림을 사달라고 하면
Ice cream.
것 같은 느낌이랄까?
Sir Heathcliff appeareth a tad more merciful than usual. Mayhaps he shall accept my request Should I implore him to purchase me a pint of ice cream or...
그리고 시끄럽게 해도 때리지 않으실 것 같아요.
And he no longer looks like he's on the verge of punching me when I make the smallest of noises.
야, 부탁하건대 캐서린 앞에서 그런 말을 꺼내기라도 하면.
Please don't bring up anything even remotely like that in front of Catherine.
옷이 날개군. 제외의 후기를 기대하고 있겠어.
Well, I'll be. Clothes really do make the man. Do let me know how this reunion goes. I'll be looking forward to hearing the tale. Sure. So, Heathcliff? I've been meaning to ask this question for a while. I wanted to know the answer, but I couldn't bring myself to ask him. I like that Dawn seems to chill enough with Heath that she wants to ask him to get her ice cream or cosplay with him or the Christmas event. It's kind of nice, actually, that she's nice with him. And I know at the very beginning of the game I said I didn't like Heathcliff, but he's grown a lot. He's grown so much. Even, like, not counting his Kanto, he's grown a lot as a person. And I am starting to like him now. Don Quixote also liking him helps, because I of course love Don Quixote. But yeah, it's cool to see his growth over the course of everything. Why do you leave Wuthering Heights? It's where the love of your life lives, isn't it? Heathcliff, who'd been busily moving about and preparing to leave the bus, suddenly comes to a halt.
뭐든 괜찮았어. 때리는 것도 굶는 것도 하찮은 취급을 받으며 부려먹어지는 것도.
I don't mind it. The thrashing, the starvings, the abuse. I'm treating me like a servant, like I'm something beneath them.
들러리 불순물 취급을 받으면서 사는 것도 참을 수 있었지.
He started from bashing Sinclair's head in, from simply looking concerned, to letting two sinners give him a makeover with no directions from him besides wanting to look good. I know, it's so good. I didn't mind being treated like I'm nothing more than an afterthought, like I'm some impure trash to be discarded.
하지만 캐서린 입에서
But when I heard what Catherine said,
내가 저택에 있어야 할 이유는 그 순간 사라졌어.
I realized that I no longer had any reason to remain in that manner. Heathcliff did not elaborate further. Perhaps it wasn't that he didn't, but he couldn't bring himself to. I didn't dare ask him what he was going to say, so I simply nodded in response. I see.
카론이 히스 바뀐 모습을 보고 할 말이 있나 본데?
Oh, looks like Sharon's got something to say about your new fit.
있어. 중대 발표할 거야.
Sharon has something to say. Something big.
좋아. 자, 한마디 소감 부탁드립니다.
Great. Awesome. Now, Sharon, what do you think?
카론은 버터 싫어. 느끼하단 말이야.
Looks oily and greasy. Sharon doesn't like greasy.
이게 아닌데.
No, this isn't how I thought it would go. Sharon's word must have hit him hard. It took quite a bit of convincing for Heathcliff, who was severely discouraged by Sharon's remark, to exit the bus. He was flabbergasted. That face was perfect. Violence? No! I want violence in game. Prepare your vocal cords. There's a part coming up. You must truly feel how Dawn does. Alright. Let me drink some water then. I'm being hydrated today without the hydrate redeem. What a surprise. Here we go. Perfect. Ugh, this is uncomfortable.
걸을 때마다 옷이 꽉 죄어오는 느낌이야.
You must put your full effort into it. Every single Dawn line? Of course. Boy, is it normal for these clothes to squeeze harder with every step I take? Yeah.
기품이라는 건 원래 그런 것이랍니다. 익숙해진다면 오히려 다른 옷을 입을 때 허전해지곤 하죠.
That is what it means to maintain an air of dignity. Once you get used to that feeling, you'll feel like you're missing something whenever you're dressed casually. Well, there's a more specific line. You'll know what I mean when it happens, will I?
히스클리프군. 이게 자네가 살던 곳의 대문인가?
So save all that effort for that line. So this must be the front gate to your former abode, Heathcliff. Trust me, you'll know. Okay. The massive gate alone feels downright intimidating. That's one big front door.
몇 지역에서는 대문의 크기로 신분을 드러내곤 한다. 이 정도 크기라면 상당한 재력가라고 볼 수 있다. It is known that, in certain regions of the city, the size of the front gate is an indicator of one's social standing. Mrsalt yawns. The magnitude of this front gate indicates that the owner of this home is very affluent.
이런 곳에 살았으면서 홍루 씨를 부자라고 그렇게 못 살게 굴었던 건가요? 히스클리프?
Heathcliff, you picked on Honglu for being a rich kid when you were raised at some huge mansion yourself?
저는 아무렇지도 않답니다.
I don't mind it at all.
나는 갑자기 배신감까지 느껴지는데.
I'm feeling a bit betrayed, actually.
히스클리프군. 그대가 굉장히 낯설어 보이네만.
Sir Heathcliff, thou appeareth quite different today.
헛소리는 집어치워.
Keep your stupid comments to yourselves. Some were teasing him, some were genuinely surprised, but it didn't matter to Heathcliff. Every word he spat was dripping with venomous spite.
부자는 내가 아니야.
I wasn't even remotely close to being rich. Yeah, did all of you sitters not pay attention to him being starved? Him being abused? Ridiculed? What the fuck are you guys on? Come on. Be supportive of this guy.
단 한순간도 풍요로웠던 적이 없었어.
Abuse can happen to anyone, and it's very serious. Come on, sinners. I was never once rich in this manner. I wasn't even allowed to be content, not even for a moment.
그리고 이 저택도 단 한순간조차 날 받아들이지.
This manor never accepted me, not even for a...
뭐야 이건?
What the hell?
낙뢰다. 후방에 있는 숲 근방에 떨어진 것으로 보인다.
A lightning strike. It seems to have struck an area near the forest. Oh, trust me, there's more than a single lightning strike over there. So many. Electric sheeps. That was so loud.
괜찮아요. 사람이 번개를 맞을 확률은 굉장히 희박하다고 했어요.
It's okay. I heard that's extremely rare for lightning to actually hit people.
가만 보면
We're all holding fucking metal. What do you mean?
불꽃놀이와도 닮아 있는 것 같소.
A momentary musing reveals that the strike of levin brings about a sensation that is not unlike the joy of fireworks.
텅 비어 있던 밤하늘을 순간의 섬광으로 가득 채워주고 사라지지 않는가?
It fills the dark and cold void of the night sky with an incandescent brilliance, even for a brief moment before fading away into oblivion.
그 대신 자기가 가진 모든 걸 내보내서 모든 걸 불태워버리지.
So I just need to check things. Right. In exchange, it loses everything it has, burning and leaving nothing but ash behind.
놀다 아니야.
What joy is there to be found? I could hear some forest critters fleeing, spooked by the thunderstrike. Oh, behold! A tiny squirrel over yonder!
우와, 집 근처에 숲이라니 자연 친화적인 곳에 살고 계셨군요. 동물원을 따로 만들 필요가 없겠어요.
Whoa, such nature so close to home? I didn't know you used to live in such an eco-friendly place. I suppose I wouldn't have to go through the trouble of building a private zoo if I lived at a place like this.
도시에서 정원이나 숲을 가진다는 것은 이러니 저러니 해도 엄청난 재력가라는 것은 틀림없지.
To have a garden or a forest so near to home. Even if we were to ignore everything else, that alone indicates that its owner is something or someone of unimaginable influence.
그렇네. 싱클레어네 집도 그러긴 했지.
Right. I remember that Sinclair's home was in the middle of the forest too.
다람쥐도 있고 뭐 몇몇 짐승들도 심심찮게 볼 수 있었지.
Squirrels? Sure. There were other animals roaming about too.
아주 가끔 가다가 기분이 걷잡을 수 없이 안 좋아져서 숲에 계속 처박혀 있을 때도 있었는데.
Sometimes, when I was so miserable that I could hardly bear to even be in that manner, I'd go to the forest and not return for a long time.
그럴 때마다 이 다람쥐군이 적잖은 친구가 되어주었겠어.
Then this little tiny forest friend, little Sir Squirrel, must have been quite the jolly companion for thee. Little Sir Squirrel! The little squirrel that may once have been Heathcliff's tiny forest friend was immediately scorched down to a pile of ash the moment it crossed over into the manor's front gate. No! Little Sir Squirrel.
저런 식으로 치나? 휘어지기도 하고?
That was a weird lightning strike. Did it just curve midair?
일반적인 상황에서 벌어지기에는 지극히 낮은 확률이군요.
The chance of such an occurrence is extraordinarily low.
내 과민 반응 수도 있겠지만 아무리 봐도 번개가 정확히 저 다람쥐를 향해 치는 것 같았거든.
That was the line. Good job. The mic could have handled the mics. I think it helped that I saw an animation of the scene when, like, I was in like Canto 1 or something, and it showed up in my YouTube feed, and I'm just like, oh, what's this? And then it was like Don Quixote, and I'm like, perfect. So I watched it, and then I got familiar with it. I watched it once, so I at least knew what was gonna happen. But thank you so much. It might just be that I'm overreacting, but it looked as though that lightning was curving itself to strike exactly where that squirrel was standing.
이런 위험천만한 곳에서 용케 살아남으셨네요, 히스클리프 씨.
Well, Heathcliff, I had no idea you grew up at such a dangerous place. Impressed you even survived.
아니야, 미친. 나도 이런 벼락은
No. Blimey. I've not seen anything like it. Right. Heathcliff, ready to knock on the front gate?
문을
Front gate. He stared blankly at the front gate of the manor.
문을 두들기는 거 오랜만이네.
I've not knocked on this front gate in a good many years.
한 번은 아무도 열어주지 않길래 몰래 저택에서 빠져나온 캐서린이 문을 열어줬어.
I once had to wait out here for hours because they all refused to let me in, except Catherine. She snuck out of the manor to open it for me.
비를 맞아가면서
Walking through the heavy rain.
그럼 지금도 마찬가지겠죠.
The game Heavy Rain? Oh my god, is that what we're playing next? We're going into that game? Kinda strange that they added the game into Canto 6, but that's fine. Well then, I'm sure it won't be different this time.
이 문을
Switches over to playing Heavy Rain.
캐서린이 올 거라고?
So, if I knock, Catherine will come out to let me in? I'm not sure, Heathcliff. Oh. Heathcliff takes a deep breath before knocking on the front door. There's no, like, ringer or
정말로
any
이렇게
button?
될 줄은 몰랐는데요.
Huh, nothing. That's not what I meant when I said it won't be different from this time.
담을 넘어갈까요? 높이를 보아하니까 발목 접질러질 각오만 되어 있다면.
Oh, we can try climbing over the fence. I think we can clear that height as long as we're okay with breaking our ankles.
아니,
No. Heathcliff was a whole bundle of anxiety before I knocked on the front gate. But perhaps this perceived slight reverted Heathcliff into his usual angry self.
여기는 내가 초대받은 저택이야. 담을 넘어간다면 아무 의미가 없어지는 거라고.
I was invited to this manor. This invitation would be meaningless if I were to leap over the fence.
캐서린! 내가 왔어!
Catherine! I'm back!
한 번 무시당했는데 다시 소리친다고.
They've ignored you once. Continuing to shout won't.
캐서린!
Catherine! Despite his efforts, not even a soul stirred beyond the front gate. None of us really believed that anyone would come out to greet him. But... Cut! The front gate began to creak open, as though someone was answering his pleas.
꾸민 보람이 있었죠?
The makeover was worth it, But the squirrel's gone. Little Sir Squirrel. Nelly! We have Nelly as an announcer. Somehow. Heavy Rain? I've actually never played Heavy Rain. Maybe we should play that on stream eventually. The heavy rain, in quotes, TM, and the tempest only grew harsher the closer we got to the manor.
대문을 넘었는데도 사람은 코빼기도 보이지 않는군.
Though we have long made it past the front gate, not a soul doth appear. The bubbling excitement of the sinners when they disembarked the bus had all but disappeared. A silent air of apprehension surrounded them as they gingerly took their hesitant steps toward the manor.
캐시, 잘 지냈어? 아니야. 캐서린, 오랜만이야. 아니야 이것도.
Cathy, have you been well? No. Catherine, it's been a while, hasn't it? No, this ain't it either. In the midst of this aura of uneasiness, only Heathcliff seemed to be preoccupied by something else. The rest of the sinners were... dashed. Did you catch that?
새였다. 정확히는 참새의 일종이었다.
A bird. A subspecies of sparrows, to be exact.
정문을 지났는데도 이 공격적인 낙뢰는 계속되는군.
Lightning continues to strike aggressively, even this far past the front gate.
조금만 가까이 있었으면 저희도 같은 신세였을 거예요.
We would have been burnt to a crisp had it struck even a little closer. Lightning continued to blast the earth, as though it wouldn't be satisfied until it's reduced every living thing in the manor's grounds to a pile of ashes.
빨리 걷자니 벼락 맞을 것 같고 천천히 걷자니 또 벼락을 맞을 것 같고.
Is it gonna hit us if we walk faster? Or maybe it hits things that are moving too slow? Maybe we should speed up? I don't know.
이동 속도와는 관련이 없는 것 같다. 마치 벼락 자체가 의지를 가지고 목표를 맞추려는 것처럼 보이니. 의지를 가진 번개라.
Our walking speed seems irrelevant. Instead, it's almost as if this lightning has a will of its own, striking with intent. This brings back some unpleasant memories.
아, 어쩌면 이 집의 방어 시스템은 아닐까요?
Oh, maybe it's like this house's defense system?
방어, 보안 장치를 말하는 것이요.
Defense system. Do you imply that this may be part of the manor's security measure?
허가받지 않고 이 저택 안에 들어오는 것한테만 번개가 내리치는 걸 수도요.
Maybe it only targets things that enter the manor grounds without permission.
이것보다 더 정교하고 확실한 장치도 많았거든요.
I've seen security measures that are more precise and more conclusive than this.
크기가 커다란 저택일수록 더 효과적인 보안 장치들을 설치하곤 하니까요.
Larger manors often do install more effective security systems, after all.
아, 저희 집에서도 보안 장치에 대한 이야기가 저녁 식사 이야기거리로 올라오곤 했던 것 같아요.
Oh, I think our family talked about installing a defense system at our home too. It was one of those topics that kept coming up during dinner.
말이 안 되는 건 아니네요. 그렇다고 이런 사고 방식이 이해된다는 건 아니지만.
That would make sense. Not that I'll ever understand the thought process behind these systems.
LCCB 팀이 접근하지 못했다던 보안 체계란 것이 혹여.
Perhaps the security measures that prevent the before team from approaching the manor may be.
네. 하지만 저희는 초대장이 있잖아요. 안심하고 걸어도 될 것 같다는 소리예요.
Yeah, but we have the invitation with us. I'm sure we'll be just fine. Is that really all this is? This is just one of those normal security measures that every rich family supposedly has?
하지만 조금 신기하긴 하네요. 날씨를 조정하는 시스템은 비효율적일 정도로 어마어마한 금액이
I just noticed the grass has color. Some of it does, at least. It's pretty interesting, though. I heard the technology to change the weather itself is really, really expensive to the point of being inefficient. So expensive that I've not seen it myself. I remained silent because I didn't want to concern the sinners with something I wasn't sure about. But the closer we got to the manor, the more confident I became that something was off. That this extremely abnormal weather isn't the work of some security system. This absolutely has something to do with the Golden Bough. But this Golden Bough feels different from the ones we've encountered before. It's a bit more chaotic.
이 꽃은
No, these flowers.
색깔이 있네요.
They've got color. Sinclair was right. The manor's garden was slightly littered with flowers. They were the only things of color in this dreary sight. I noticed them too.
이 꽃 이름이 뭘까요?
I wonder what these flowers are called.
혹시 말이야, 돈을 지불한다면 꽃에도 색을 되찾게 할 수 있는 건가?
Huh. I guess you can return the color to even to flowers if you cop up enough cash.
그렇습니다.
Indeed.
그렇다는 것은 이 집안의 인물은 꽃을 무척이나 사랑했던 것이겠구려.
And the proprietor of this manor must have held a particular love of these flowers. Fuck, I can't speak.
꽃에도 색을 넣을 정도라니.
To return color to such transient things as flowers.
혹은 어마어마한 갑부이거나.
Or perhaps it may simply be that they are preposterously affluent. Heathcliff quietly gazed at the patches of violet flowers as Yisung mused out loud.
틀렸어.
You're wrong.
꽃을 무척이나 사랑했던 것은 아니었을 거야.
There was no particular love for these flowers.
그 마음이 꽃까지 들어갈 정도로 넓고 따뜻한.
There's no room, no warmth in that heart to spare for mere flowers. Heathcliff appeared so doleful that I felt as though he had built a tall, opaque wall between himself and the world. I could not bring myself to ask further. You not tell us the name of those flowers.
아이고, 어서 오세요.
My, oh my, please come this way. Someone hurriedly runs this way from the manor's front door, holding a lantern.
날씨가 참 말썽이죠?
Hi, Nellie.
하긴 T사는 워더링 하이츠는 화창한 적이 드물지만요.
One off the weather, Well, T-Corp is... The Wuthering Heights Manor is rarely ever sunny, but this is quite the storm. Long...
오랜만이야, 넬리.
Long time no see, Nellie.
세상에 히스클리프? 정말 너구나.
My word, Heathcliff, is that you? It really is you. Yeah.
네가 그렇게 떠난 후에 어떻게 살았는지 정말. 아휴, 밥은 제대로 먹고 다니는지, 어디서 맞고 다니진 않는지.
You have the slightest idea how worried I was since you left. Have you been eating well? You've not been bullied by a rough crowd, have you? Bullied by... Oh, what?
우리가 그동안 소식을 얼마나 궁금해했는데.
We've wanted to hear from you for so long.
자, 들어와.
Dude, come in now. Come in. Also, this doesn't look like a lantern. This Nellie regarded us with a curious look, as though she didn't quite understand what we were supposed to be.
설마 여러분은
If I may be so bold as to presume.
우리 히스클리프의 친구분들인가요?
Would you be our dear Heathcliff's friends?
네, 뭐.
Yeah, well, Ishmael, he fucking saved you during the end of your canto. You should regard him a bit higher.
친구 해도 되는 건가요?
Friends, are we?
친구의 범위를 어디까지로 인식하고 있을지에 따라 답변이 다르다.
The answer to that question hinges on the range of affinity one would define as a delineation that separates friends from acquaintances. There's a huge fucking list between levels of friendships. I had to make one for a D&D character. It was like literally acquaintances, co-workers, then it was... I can't remember the next one. But there's like something else, but it was like 21 word long list, and friends was at the very top. Everyone started out acquaintances.
그럼 죽을 뻔한 모험을 몇 번이나 겪은 소중한 친구들이지.
Of course we're friends. Precious friendship forged in fire. Multiple fires, actually. There's likely some doubt for the sinners with how he sometimes acts where they could think, I like the guy, but does he consider me a friend? That's true.
히스클리프의 소중한 친구들이 곧 있으면 비에 쫄딱 맞아서 얼어 죽을지도 모르겠고.
Your dear Heathcliff's precious friends are about to freeze to their deaths in the rain, woman.
귀한 분들이 오셨네요. 아이고, 내 정신 좀 봐. 얼른 들어오세요, 얼른. 저택은 따뜻할 거예요.
My, what honorable guest I welcome to this place today. I must be all over the place to leave you all standing in the rain. Come in now, come in. It's a tad warmer in here than it is outside. The interiors of Wuthering Heights was rather dark, yet you may consider someone a friend, but do they consider you as one is what I thought was going on at that part. That makes sense.
정말
Me?
저택 안에는
This,
색이 있어.
this manor doth have color. Some color, at least. Still quite a few browns, but color still there. Its hue appeared to be a tad faded from its original vibrancy, but there was color in the manor.
말했잖아. 저택에 사는 세.
Oh, and Heathcliff's outfit has more color now. Chat Don Quixote has given her hair color back. Has been given her hair color back. Yeah. Let's go! When I tell you, I could see color inside this manor.
이것도 뭐 돈을 내서 가져온 거지만.
Well, it's all about it's all bought by money anyway.
저택에 걸린 이 랜턴들이 있으면 색을 돌려받을 수 있다던가.
Believe it or not, there's something about these lanterns hanging about the manor that brings back colors.
본래의 색을 밝혀주는 랜턴이구려. 꽤 값진 기구일 텐데.
Ah, the lanterns that return the object's original saturation. These are quite expensive luxuries, are they not?
그래도 완전한 색을 돌려받지 못해. 어딘가 칙칙하지.
It still doesn't bring back all the colors. Things still remain a tad gloomy.
그런데 캐시는 어디?
So, where's Kathy?
히스클리프, 지금까지 어떻게 지낸 거야? 응? 잠은 어디서 자고? 밥은 잘 먹고 다닌 거 맞아? 좀 야윈 것 같은데.
Heathcliff, please, tell me your life story since you have left us, Where have you been staying? Have you been eating well? Hi, have you lost weight?
나는
I...
그래도 너무 늦지 않아서 다행이야. 다들 널 기다리고 있었거든.
I'm glad your delay wasn't too substantial. We have all been waiting for your arrival.
다들?
We?
그러고 보니 옷차림이 못 본 사이에 달라지고 아주 멀끔한 신사가 됐네? 친구들도 많이 생겼고.
Now, let me get a better look at you. Your fine dress clothes, the hair. My, you've certainly grown into the right proper gentleman, haven't you? Quite the popular lad you are, with a posse of friends and all.
뭐... 그래?
Well, did I?
그럼 멀리서 보면 하나도 못 알아보겠다.
But of course, I could not have recognized you from a distance. Ellie was talking so fast that Heathcliff wasn't spared even a second to get in a single word.
넬리라고 했나?
Nellie, was it?
정확히 어떤 사이지? 우린 그의 소중한 친구이자 동료이며 전우들이라 어떤 사이인지가 무척이나 궁금하군.
What is your precise relation to Heathcliff? As his precious friend, colleague, and comrade in arms, I cannot help but be curious as to how you two know each other. Otis, who was conspicuously scanning the interiors of the manor, suddenly asked Nellie the most transparently suspicious question that I've ever heard.
아, 나는 말이지. 히스클리프의 이를테면.
Oh, I'm... let's see, Heathcliff's... how should I put this?
보모라고 해야 했나?
Nanny, I suppose?
보모요?
Nanny?
코 흘리고 있으면 닦아주고 옷 갈아입혀주고 하는 보모요?
What, like you...
히스클리프 씨?
You wiped Heathcliff's snot, changed his baby clothes, and... Am I thinking of the right nanny?
밥을 먹기 거부할 때는 밥을 떠먹여주기도 하고요.
And when the baby's fussy about food, nanny spoon-feed it to them.
아이, 넬리! 그런 식으로 소개하지 마!
Oi, Nellie! Just quit teasing me like that.
보모라고 하기에는 조금 달랐잖아.
You weren't exactly my nanny, and you know that.
우린 어렸을 때부터 서로를 알고 지냈어.
We've known each other since we were both young.
그리고 난 넬리를 하인처럼 부리거나 보모처럼 따르진 않았거든.
And I did not treat her like a servant or follow her around like she was my nanny.
그리고 지금은 엄연히 치프 버틀러라고. 내 말 한마디에 군기가 바짝 드는 버틀러들이 얼마나 많은데.
Mind you, I am not the chief butler of the house. You must see the other butlers moving about like soldiers when I give a word.
뭐 네가 제일 일을 빠릿하게 잘했으니까.
Well, you were the best at your job.
그런데 나 슬슬 인내심이 금방이라도 끊어질 것 같아서 말이야.
Nelly, I'm getting quite impatient, so I've got to ask. Heathcliff must have wanted so badly to ask her where Kathy was.
연애는 언제 시작이야?
So when's the banquet starting? Instead, he hid his true question behind a mask of aloofness. But poor Nelly. Nelly's expression became somewhat odd upon hearing Heathcliff's query.
연회는
Banquet.
어이, 그 막내네 새끼 오긴 하는 거야 뭐야?
Oi! When's that witless brigand coming? Is he even on his way?
사람을 불러 모아놓고 사라지면 어쩌자는 거지? 언제까지 꼴 보기 싫은 얼굴들을 마주보고 있어야 하냐고?
You can't just leave after gathering us all down here. If I have to sit any second longer next to these mugs, I'm going to lose it! There's a furious voice echoing from down the halls.
넬리, 잠깐. 방금 그 목소리.
Nelly, wait. I recognize that voice.
아이 참, 안 그래도 막 왔어요.
Don't rush. He just arrived, mind you.
히스클리프 들어가자. 모두가 널 기다리고 있다고 했잖아.
Let's join the others, Heathcliff. Like I said, we've all been waiting for your arrival. Heathcliff bit his lips anxiously and followed Nelly.
파티를 하는 듯한 분위기는 확실히 아닌 것 같은데.
This doesn't feel like a manor that's about to throw a party.
네. 그때 크루즈 파티나 이곳에서나
Yeah, that cruise ship party, this manor.
아무리 감추려고 해도 말이죠. 공간에서부터 나오는 음침한 분위기는 숨길 수가 없더라고요.
You can't hide the rising sense of dread from these places like these. Doesn't matter how hard you try.
평소에도 활기찼던 저택은 아닌 듯하다.
This manor does not appear to have been a place where liveliness is an expected element.
청소를 급하게 했지만 오로지 손님 맞이를 위한 용도일 뿐. 곳곳에 균열이 있고 보수가 필요한 부분이 보인다.
I see signs of rush cleaning, conducted immediately before the guest arrived. Several cracks and areas in need of repair have been identified as well. Maybe they should hire Mersault as one of the butlers.
또한
He'd do great. Also,
즐거운 파티를 기대했던 건 아니지만 마음이 제법 슬프네.
I was scant expecting a raucous party, yet this is quite the depressing presentation. I followed Don Quixote to the halls. She appeared terribly disappointed. Where's my violence? Mersault cleaned this manor spotless within the next 24 hours. And he'll manage to do it? Yeah, I'm sure he would. Yay, violence! I want violence in game. Two people sat by a dying hearth, surrounded by their respective posse. It was quite apparent from the way they sat opposite to one another that their relationship was far from amicable. On one end was a group of people dressed in mysterious masks surrounding a jumping-looking man who looked like he was one little nudge away from hurling foul insults at everyone. Probably the dead rabbits. On the other hand was a group of people dressed in identical uniforms. Sinclair told me that they were wearing the outfit that most manor employees wear to each other. One of them stood out, as he was the only one among them in a black suit. He appeared somewhat uncomfortable. It seemed as though he was in a great deal of pain merely by being here. Is this Edgar family? And between the two groups were Don Quixote!
저 복장은 분명 외우피 협회에서 온 자들!
Fixers! I recognize their outfits. Forsooth, they must be fixers from the Ufi Association.
외우피 협회는 보통 중요한 일이 아니면 뺏기도 힘든 분들인데 어찌 이런 곳에!
quite the rare. To even get a sighting of a single Ophi fixer, they require quite the momentous occasion to even grace us with their presence. Shh, we'll have time to ask for autographs later. Later, alright? I had to coax Don Quixote, who was practically quivering from immediately running to them for signatures. Because we had unintentionally become the center of attention from the entire room. The center of a very negative attention.
맙소사, 기어코 그가 돌아오고 말았어요. 워더링 하이츠에 수치인 그 망할 자식이.
By gum, that vagabond has returned. The bloody shame of Wuthering Heights.
여전하네.
Same old Josephine, huh?
뻔뻔하게 들어오는 꼬락선이 좀 보라지. 우리 마님이 보신다면 얼마나 기겁하실까.
Look at him, strutting about like he owns this place. If only our mistress were to witness this travesty.
어우, 조세핀 그만 좀 해.
Gosh, Josephine, that's quite enough.
신경 쓰지 마, 히스클리프.
Don't mind her, Heathcliff.
이 광경을 보시면 뒤집어지실 거야. 이 신성한 워더링 하이츠를 불황자들이 점령하고 있다니 기가 찰 노릇이지. 아무렴.
This blessed land of Wuthering Heights, reduced to an asylum for vagabonds and drifters. If the mistress had been here to witness this tragic, deplorable state of affairs. There's an old woman in the room who is muttering some choice words at us while staring with eyes full of hatred.
역시 망나니 자식답게 제일 늦게 기어 들어오시는구만. 무슨 자신감으로 이곳을?
The witless brigand returns. Quite delayed at that. How dare you show your face?
조용히 하십시오, 힌들리.
Edgar family, I was right. Hindley, please, exercise some restraint.
히스클리프, 정말 돌아올 줄은 몰랐는데.
Heathcliff, I hardly did expect a return.
캐서린을 잊지 못한 건가? 아직도?
You have yet to let Catherine go, still? It's clear that the two had both been acquainted with Heathcliff for a while. But the nature of that acquaintance was more of a long-standing hatred stemming from the deep history of contention they shared. One of the two was hardly hiding his hatred, allowing it to fully seize control of his words and actions, but the other one's hatred has sunk deep into his heart, boiling and writhing underneath.
내가 뭐 성대한 환영 같은 걸 기대하고 이 저택에 돌아온 건 아니지만.
Right, I wasn't exactly expecting a grand welcome upon my return.
적어도 너희들 면상이나 보려고 온 건 아니야. 그 말대로 난 알맹이는 변하지 않았거든.
But I ain't here to see you ugly mugs. It's like you always said. My base nature is just incapable of change.
Heathcliff shoots back with just as much vitriol, as though he was always used to this kind of scorn and humiliation. The man in the black suit turns away, as though it would degrade him to even entertain him with an answer, but this man they called Hindley.
You unscrupulous shite! You bloody animal! No, a thing lesser than a savage beast.
Jumped up from his seat, his face turning bright red from anger.
또 어디서 니놈이랑 똑같은 것들을 데리고 왔어? 뭐라도 쑤셔볼 심산인가 본데.
By the looks of it, you found yourself a band of vagrants and vagabonds just like you, eh? Calling back to see if there's something worth pilfering from this place.
어이 너네, 이 자식 정신 좀 차리게 두들겨 패라.
You lot!
어디 한쪽을 부러뜨리기라도 하면 더 좋고.
Beat his ass! And teach him a lesson. Break a bone or two.
No orders. From boss.
잔말 말고 해. 그 보스라는 놈과 너희들을 고용한 건 나야.
Shut it! I'm your boss's boss. I hired him and the rest of you!
그래봤자 어디서 굴러 들어온 개 뼈다구보다 못한 놈들일 거다.
I don't expect these boneheaded fools to give you much trouble anyway.
뼈? 저자가 무엇 하는 것이오?
Head of bone? What on earth is that fellow speaking of?
그냥 신나게 두들겨 맞고 싶다는 소리죠. 뭐 그렇게 원하신다면요.
He's just expressing his explicit desire to get his ass beat. Well, since he asked for it. Violence! Gee! More violence!
자자, 대열 정비하고 식기들은 윤이 날 정도로 잘 갈려.
Fatal bludgeoning. That sucks.
걱정은 구김 없는지 체크하고. 이제
Go, Depresso!
볼까?
Good job, Sinclair.
이런 건 몽둥이가 약이지.
Dead. Thank you, Honglu. Okay, Yisung lost their clash. That's okay.
아이고, 엉뚱한 곳에 청소했나 보네.
Hi, Nelly. You're just gonna announce from the background? That's cool.
지적거리지만 마.
다시 복구하긴 힘들걸요?
Good job, Honglu. Good job, Ryoshu. Good job, Ryoshu. You barely got that, but alright. Stab, stab, stab. Stab. Good damage. Okay, I guess we're trying to go for Envy. Based on how the game's playing at the moment.
우리가 우세한 상황이야.
Please kill everyone. I'd appreciate it.
킷을 꺼내 먹으면서 싸우라는 얘기는 아니었는데.
Yep, I didn't think that'd be a kill.
알맞게 모기 덩어리 끌어냈네.
Don Quixote didn't kill over there. That makes me a little sad. Sinclair killed. Good.
좋아.
Here we go. Yeah, I'll do this one. Just deal more damage to everyone. That should be good. Perfect, rolled heads. Let's visit the world of wonders. Bonk. Good damage, also sinking. Good job, Sinclair. Good job, Faust.
우리가 우세한 상황이야.
Attack A! Again! Yizong, that kills. Don Quixote, this should kill. Thank you. Please die. In-game. Good stagger. Good Honglu. Good Honglu. Everyone's dead. Yay! Murder! In-game.
좋아. 이제 살을 발라 뼈다구 너 만들어주지.
Good. Now separate the bones from your flesh and personally introduce you to your own skull. Oi! Lads! The casual yet powerful voice booms across the hall, immediately breaking the tension in the room.
잠깐 물 좀 마시려고 갔다 온 동안 무슨 난장판이 벌어진 거야?
I was gone just for a minute to get some water. What the hell happened here?
저택은 또 빌어먹게도 넓어서 차라리 우물에서 물을 길어오는 게 나을 뻔했네.
This is one big fucking manor, eh? Would have been faster to go bucket a cup of water from the well myself. Boss, we have a guest. So that's their boss.
예. 걸음걸이나 한눈에 느껴지는 기색으로 보아 전투에 꽤나 능숙한 경험이 있는 자 같습니다.
Yes, Executive Manager. It's immediately obvious from the way he walks and from the way he carries himself that he's someone quite experienced in combat.
마침 잘 왔다. 네 잡졸들은 영 시원찮아. 이런 시정잡배 같은 놈들한테나 얻어맞아서 주저앉고 있었다니까.
Right on time. Your lackeys are lacking. How could they let these groups of no-name hooligans knock them down on their arse?
자, 본때를 보여줘.
Go on. Show them the meaning of pain.
내가 아무래도 부하들 교육을 잘못 시켰나 보네.
Looks like I gotta give my men some proper demonstration. The boss confidently strode toward Heathcliff. Then, gave him a playful smack on the back of his head.
마! 오랜만에 고향에 왔으면 말이야. 제일 먼저 형님한테 째깍째깍 인사를 박았어야지.
Or lad. And the first thing to do when crawling back into your neighborhood to give a quick hello to your dear old boss? Would you leave your manners? Huh?
너희 뭐냐? 얼른 예의 갖춰서 인사 박아라.
Or you lot. Wipe that stupefied look from your faces and bow before him. Come on, hurry up. Show some bloody respect.
뭐야? 설마?
What? No, it can't be. The man waited past both the aftermath of the brawl and the heavy tension that lifted the manor like he was out on a stroll. He just walked into the middle of it all, then put his arm around Heathcliff's shoulder. It was the kind of friendly gesture that only someone who's known Heathcliff for a long, long time could do.
당연한 결과죠. 저는 선택받았으니까.
Don Quixote!
그렇겠죠?
I need her to be higher. Hey, we got clock. Ayo, nice clock. Catherine. No, I want more violence. Please. Oh my god, this goes really high. I want more violence, though. Give me more violence, please. I want violence today. Boss. Matthew?
그래 임마. 네가 조직을 얼마나 오랫동안 떠나 있었으면 그 악명 높은 미친 토끼 새끼를 알아보는 놈들이 하나.
Right on, you muppet. You've been gone for so long that people don't even recognize the infamous Mad Connie.
미친 토끼 새끼?
Mad Connie?
저놈이랑 옛날부터 아는 사이였냐? 왜 미리 얘기를 안 했지?
You've known that vagrant for long? What happened to you told me so?
그거야 뭐. 옛날에 끈끈하고 땀내 나는 이야기까지 듣고 싶어 하실 줄은 몰랐어서.
Well, I hardly imagined you to be interested in hearing about every little friend I made back when we were just another gang rolling in the sweaty, muddy streets.
형님은 왜 이놈이랑 아니 그것보다 그럼
Boss, why are you with this blighter? Wait, no, but
이 가면 모양
the masks, those rabbit ears.
데드의 빛이야?
Wait, you're still with the dead rabbits?
거래가 좀 많이 변했지?
Yeah, we've changed a tad, eh?
한쪽 어깨에 대충 두른 스카프와 외상으로 마신 맥주 한 병만 있었으면 그 망할 아담스 패밀리들 따윈 아무것도 아니었지.
Remember, lad? Back in the day, all we needed to crack some Adams family heads with some tattered scarf around one arm and a bottle of beer on tab. Interesting that says Adams family. I wonder if that's like a nod to the actual Adams family, considering this place that's super dreary with no color.
네 별명으로 이름이 붙은 맥주도 있었잖아. 그 집은 몇 주 전에 문 닫았어. 요새 흉흉한 소문 때문에 길거리에 나다니는 사람이 있어야 말이지.
We even named one of them beers after you, didn't we? The pub that used to sell that beer closed shop a few weeks ago. Ain't got much business around that with that dreadful rumor keeping everyone home nowadays.
뭐? 늑대 몰락 펍이 망했다고?
What? The Wolfsville closed? Bloody hell.
나만 아는 이야기를 해버렸네.
Oh, I suppose I'm leaving you all out of the loop, eh?
뭐 소개를 해주자면
Well, allow me to introduce the gaffer.
이쪽은 옛날에 내가 몸담았던 조직의 보스.
He was a boss of an old syndicate I used to run with.
야, 동료들인가? 호련히 사라지더니만 멀끔한 회사에 취직이라도 했냐?
So, friends of yours, eh? Joined some posh proper company after running out on us out of nowhere, did ya?
뭐 어쩌다 보니.
Well, things just worked out that way. I do not like that grin.
그 아들도 많이 생겼네. 걸어다니는 시계도 생기고. 하하하, 자식. 출세했는데?
All them lads and lasses you lucky? Blimey, gotta walk in timepiece with you too. You daft bastard. You certainly moved up in the world, eh?
우와?
Lackeys? Ishmael glared at Heathcliff with a look that could kill, but she decided to hold her silence and merely shook her head in disbelief. She probably decided that it was not worth the trouble.
그런데 왜 이런 가면을 쓰고 다니게 된 거야, 형님?
So, what's up with the mask, boss?
왜? 이상하냐? 유행이라는 거는 매일 바뀌는 거야. 어깨에 토끼가 그려진 스카프를 매던 시기는
What?
지났단 거지.
Is it on? Trends change with time, lad. Time that for scarves with rabbits embroidery is long past.
그런 거야?
Huh?
내가 보기엔 좀
Is that so? Looks a bit.
당연히 아니지. 우리 데드레비츠가 어디 샌님들처럼 유행 따라갔던 허접한 조직은 아니잖아.
Of course not. Who do you think we are? We're the dead rabbits in a bookish... Or we the dead rabbits ain't a bookish rabble that follows the coattails of some naff trend.
정말 한 번도 돌아온 적이 없구나.
You've really not once returned to this place since you left, have you?
이 저택을 그리고 데드 레비츠까지 떠나고 나서
No. When I left this manor, and eventually the dead rabbits,
적어도 성공해서 내 발로 돌아오기 전까진
I made a promise to myself to not return.
다시는 어설픈 발걸음조차 하지 않겠다고 결심했거든.
Not even a step closer to this place until I've made something of myself. Not until I can return as a successful man.
하긴 너는 우리랑 어울리고 있었을 때에도 이곳을 혐오스러워했지.
Well, you've always hated this place, even when you were one of us.
있잖냐, 히스클리프. 우린 이제 뒷골목에서나 쏘다니던 갱단들이랑은
I got news for you,
달라졌어.
Heath. We're no longer the same lowly backstreets gang you're familiar with.
드디어 우리도 출세라는 걸 한 것이랄까? 약지 출신이었던 자가 우릴 눈여겨봤거든. 덕분에 이젠 몸집도 더 불어났고 꽤 잘 나가는 조직이 되었지.
I suppose we've also moved up in the world. Someone from the ring, who'd been keeping their eyes on us, plucked us right off from the streets and into their fold. We're bigger now, and we're one of the up-and-coming syndicates. The ring. Interesting. We haven't really heard about the ring too much. We know the thumb, we know the index, we know the middle. The middle because, like, all of those were mentioned in Library of Weena. Like, these, I'm sure Ring and Pinky were just mentioned in passing, but they were never, like, gone into depth. So it's interesting to hear about it now.
약지? 손가락 중 하나?
The ring? On the fingers?
약지 중에서도 야수파 출신인가? 이런 시시껄렁한 동물 가면을 씌우는 건 그놈들 뿐이겠지.
Must be the farthest of the ring then. The only ones who could outfit their underlings with these cheap, tacky animal masks.
그럼 형님이
Then you're...
그래 임마.
The ring isn't Leviathan, I believe? Okay. I do need to read Leviathan. There's a lot of things that I haven't known because I haven't read Leviathan. I just did Lobotomy Corp Ruina and then jumped in here. Yeah, you little shite. The boss of the dead rabbits now.
형님.
Boss.
우리가 마시던 맥주가 3병이 넘어갈 때마다 중얼거리던 말이 있었어. 기억나?
Remember what you always used to say when we've each filled up with more than 3 glasses of beer?
썩어가는 밀로 만든 싸구려 맥주였어, 히스클리프.
What we drank were some lousy beers made from halfway rotten wheat, Heathcliff.
기억나는 건 다음 날에 깨질 것 같은 두통과 텅 빈 주머니였지.
All I remember, come the next morn, was a pounding headache and a light feeling of our empty pockets.
형님 밑에 있는 놈들은 그 누가 됐던 간에 아무리 갓들어온 신참내기였다 하더라도
You used to tell me that it hurt like hell every time one of your own men came back to us hurt, even the recruits.
어디서 얻어맞고 오면 자신이 맞은 것처럼 아프고 화가 난다고 했었지.
Like they hurt not just any underling, but an extension of you.
난 형님이 언젠간 정말 잘 될 거라고 생각했어.
I knew you'd make it big one day, boss.
뭐? 내가 술만 들어가면 폼 있는 말을 곧잘 짓거리곤 했지.
Well, I suppose drunk me knew how to wax poetic.
역시 매추 형님이 맞구나. 가면을 쓰고 있어서 그런지 다른 사람이 된 줄 알았어.
I knew it was you, Matthew. Mask threw me off for a moment, boss.
보고 있으니까 기가 차 죽겠군.
What a sorry sight is this!
감동적인 재회에 찬물을 끼얹게 되어서 무척이나 송구스럽습니다만.
I sincerely apologize to you two sweethearts for crashing your tearful reunion.
결국 니놈이 길거리를 돌아다니면서 거렁뱅이 짓거리나 하면서 몇 년을 보내는 동안.
But the point is, while you were wandering the streets wasting away the best years of your life on the road.
매트, 이자는 출세했다는 거지. 동시에 지금은 내 경호인이기도 하고 말이야.
Matt's made something of himself. Which is why I hired him as my bodyguard. You hear me?
이놈같이 이름도 알려지지 않은 싸구려 양아치들이 모인 집단이 아니라
Not like you and your buried band of no-name second-rate hooligans. I could think of more than a few sinners who would have gotten angry enough to brandish their weapons as such an insult. But they all seem to remember that responding to such insults with violence only begot pointless turmoil, so instead they all began sighing heavily in an attempt to vent some of their pent-up anger. They're all learning!
신들리, 아직도 나를 마구 짓밟고 조롱하고 개처럼 부려먹어도 되는 그 시절 겨울인 줄로 아는 것 같은데.
Henley, you seem to be sorely mistaken. This isn't the same winter you thrashed me, treated me like an indentured servant, and abused me like a hound.
물론 옛날엔 힘들리 네 놈의 그 더러운 말을 내뱉는 혓바닥을 잘라버리는 상상을 수도 없이 했었지.
I won't deny that I spent many days and nights imagining tearing the foul tongue from your gob.
하지만
But Heathcliff glanced briefly in our direction.
나 같은 놈도 어딘가에 속해서 여기저기 돌아다니고 다른 놈들 보면서 배워가는 게 있어서 말이야.
Even a poor sod like myself found a place to belong. Went on adventures to places you couldn't even imagine. Learned a thing or two from them. I went inside the fucking white whale in U-Corp, and I came back alive. So fuck you.
지금은 그냥 불쌍하네.
So I just feel bad for you, mate.
뭐?
What?
네 놈은 하나도 안 변한 것 같아서.
Because you really haven't changed one bit.
그리고 너
Besides,
꼬라지가 그게 뭐냐? 길거리를 떠돌다가 기어들어온 건 내가 아니라 너 같은데?
the hell's that rag you're wearing? You look more like a drifting vagabond than I do.
뭐? 이 건방진 놈이!
What? What? You insolent fool!
아까부터 욕지거리만 퍼붓고 있긴 하지만 저자
That man's been saying some pretty nasty stuff about us.
뭐라고 하고 싶은 마음조차도 들지 않는 건
But he doesn't even look like someone that's worth arguing with.
야, 너 일주일 동안 거울 한 번이라도 보긴 한 거야?
Mate, do you even check yourself in the mirror in the last week?
차마 눈 뜨고는 못 봐줄 정도인데 힘들리.
I can't bear to look at you so down in the dumps, Hindley. Of course, we had no way of knowing what Hindley looked like in the past, but we could pretty easily tell that he was far from the most stable person in the room.
이 새끼가!
You fucking bastard!
핸들리 씨, 진정하고 소파에 앉지 그래?
Now, Mr. Hindley, why don't you seat yourself on the sofa and calm down?
우리 애들은 자리가 모자라는 바람에 그 푹신해 보이는 가죽 소파에도 못 앉고 있는데 말이야.
Be more considerate of our boys standing in that corner, watching the whole thing go down, huh? You don't even get these comfy-looking leather sofas. Henley grumbled for a moment before slumping down on the sofa. And even that little action was stumbling and pathetic.
뻔하네.
I see what happened.
술에 먹힌 거야. 그것도 어마어마하게 크고 독한 술통에.
He let the alcohol consume him, not the other way around. Built that big nasty barrel with no way out.
배에서 몇 번 본 적 있어요. 그러다가 헤어나오지 못하면 그냥 호수에 빠지는 거죠. 흔적도 없이.
I've seen the same look on some sailors, trying to pull themselves out of that habit would lead them straight into the merciless maws of the lake. Not even a trace of them would be left.
뭐 일단은 내 고용주니까.
Well, this man's still my client.
사정이 있어서 핸들리 씨와 같이 일하는 중이야. 저자의 부탁으로 저택까지 오게 됐지.
Mr. Hindley hired me for some job, which is why I'm here at Wuthering Heights.
부탁?
Job?
애초에 이 자리는 캐서린이 주최한 연회잖아. 그런데 무슨 부탁을 할 게 있다는 건데?
Catherine's hosting this banquet, isn't she? What kind of job could possibly need the dead rabbit's help here? What?
연회?
Huh? A banquet!
시간이 지나도 변하지 않는 게 여기 하나 있네. 그 아둔하고 쓸모없는 이놈의 대가리 말이야.
Well, I suppose there's the one thing that hasn't changed with time. It's that witless, useless idiot brain of yours, you absolute dullard.
힌들리,
Hindley!
제발 그만하게 부탁이니.
Please, cease this at once. I implore you.
내 저택에서 그런 지저분한 말이나 듣고 싶지 않아.
I do not wish to see my manor sullied with such foul obscenities.
네 저택이 아니라 내 저택이다, 린튼. 내 저택!
This is not your home, Linton. It's mine. It's my manor.
네가 갖지 않은 농락으로 훔쳐간 내 저택. 우리 아버지가 내게 물려주신 고귀하고 명망 높은 이 워더링 하이츠를.
You're the one who sullied this noble Wuthering Heights, my birthright bestowed upon me by my father, by taking it from me by the means of trickery.
네놈의 그 에드가라는 잘난 가문에서 내어주신 저택만으로는 모자랐던 거냐?
Was your own family manor too small for you, Linton Edgard? Your oh so noble Edgard family.
에드가 가문?
The Edgard family?
소리 지르고 때를 써서 물건을 뺏어갈 나이는 이제 지났네.
The time for whining, crying, and throwing a tantrum. Oh, wrong fucking voice. The time for whining, crying, and throwing a tantrum to get what you want is long past.
금방이라도 숨이 넘어갈 것 같을 새끼 주제에 어딨어?
Bold words for some milksop who's about to choke himself to death on air!
힌들리 씨, 물러나십시오.
Please maintain your distance, sir, Mr. Hindley.
개만도 못한 충성심을 가진 놈들. 몇 년 전까지 너희들이 받들던 주인은 나였다. 기억은 나냐?
I've seen mongrels more loyal than you lot. I was your master only a few years ago. Have you cast aside your memories as well when you did your loyalty?
그만하세요, 힌들리님. 힌들리 언슈 쪽에 남아있는 버틀러들은 이제 없다는 거 아시잖아요.
Cease this at once, Master Henley. The butlers have all left Hindley Earnshaw behind, as you're very well aware yourself.
자, 너희들도 이 자리에서 더 이상 소란을 일으키고 싶은 건 아니겠지?
And you two butlers, we do not want to make further trouble here,
알겠습니다.
Understood, Chief Butler Nellie. After a brief silence, Heathcliff finally brought up the question he's been stewing for so long.
캐서린은 어디 있는 거야, 넬리?
Nellie, where's Catherine?
알잖아, 캐서린은 시끄러운 걸 못 견뎌 했어. 이렇게 많은 손님이 자기 집 한복판에서 소리라도 지른다면.
You must know, Nellie, that Catherine never did like these commotions. So many guests making so much noise in her home. She won't be pleased.
그랬지.
I suppose she never did. Hi, Elemental. Welcome in.
나 아까부터
Bing Ringer.
캐서린의 기분을
Yep.
상하게 하고 싶지 않아서 계속
Part of the
목소리를
ring.
줄였단 말이야. 슬슬 참기 어렵다고.
I've been keeping my volume in check because I didn't want to offend her, but it's getting harder and harder to keep it down. There's a look of unfathomable, immeasurable grief on both Linton and Nellie. Is she dead? Hindley was absent-mindedly mumbling some foul language at the ceiling, and Heathcliff probably sensed from this ineffably dark and ominous silence that something was terribly wrong. It was setting in for us as well. After all we've been through in this journey, this kind of silence was all too familiar.
캐서린은 대체 왜 안 나오고 있는 건데? 표정은 왜들 다 그따위고?
Where's Catherine? What's with this dour look on everyone?
미안, 히스클리프. 나는
I'm terribly sorry, Heathcliff.
미안하다는 말을 왜 하냐고?
What? Why are you sorry? What the hell are you sorry about?
히스클리프.
Heathcliff.
나는 이 분위기의 배경이 되는 사실을 유추할 수 있다.
I may have a correct assumption as to what the silence indicates.
그러므로 통상적인 표현으로서 너에게 지금 매우 유감이라는 말을 전할 수밖에 없다.
So I have no choice but to tell you, as it is common courtesy to do so, that I am very sorry to hear that.
아니,
What the fuck? Ah!
알아듣게 얘기해봐 좀.
Can't you talk normally for once?
이걸 너에게 어떻게 전해야 할지.
I hardly know how to tell you this, but
캐서린 아가씨는 여기 없어.
Miss Catherine isn't here anymore. She fucking moved! God damn it! Why'd she move up houses?
여기 없다는 게 어떤?
What do you mean she's not?
캐서린은 죽었다.
Catherine, she's dead. She fucking moved worlds! That bitch! How dare she! She moved from one world to another! She moved away from the city, what the fuck? Butlers, can I please fight something? I have so much energy. I want to fight things. Let me fight things. I crave violence in game. Linton looked up at Heathcliff. His eyes were bloodshot.
자네 말대로 얼굴 보는 것도 불쾌하기만 했던 우리가 이곳에 왜 다 모여 있다고 생각하는 건가?
As I said earlier, none of us are here to see each other's ugly mugs. What other reason could we possibly have to reconvene like this?
무슨 미친 소리를.
That can't be real. What kind of insane? No. Fixers at the Ophi Association, who have remained silent throughout the entire commotion, suddenly spoke up.
약속한 시간이 다 되었습니다.
The promised hour has come. We have come.
고인 개설이님의 혈연인 힌들리 언쇼 씨.
Mr. Henley Earnshaw, a blood relative of the deceased.
고인 개설인의 남편이었던 린튼 에드가 씨.
Mr. Linton Edgard, the spouse of the deceased.
마지막으로 유언에서 언급되었던 히스클리프 씨.
And Mr. Heathcliff, an individual mentioned by name in the will.
이렇게 모두가 한 자리에 모였으니 집행을 시작할 조건이 충족되었습니다.
Now that the three relevant parties are all present, we, as the executors of the deceased will, may begin the ceremony.
이제 의뢰자 캐서리님의 유언 집행을 시작하도록 하겠습니다.
The first order of business will be the execution of Miss Catherine's will.
우리는 캐서리님의 엄숙한 장례식에서 고인의 바람대로 캐서린님이 소유한 저택에서 유언장을 낭독 후
Thus commences the solemn occasion of Miss Catherine's funeral rites. As per the deceased wishes, the will shall be read out loud here at Miss Catherine's manor in attendance of all those present. Then...
잠깐만.
No.
너 나불거리지 말고 잠깐
You
멈춰봐.
stop. Shut up for a second.
누구의 장례식이라고?
Whose funeral rites?
그리고
And
누구의 남편이라는 거야?
What was that about her spouse? The man they called Linton arose from his seat for the first time since we arrived here.
네가 말도 없이 이곳에서 사라진 뒤
After you abandoned this place with nary a word to her,
캐서린은 곧바로 내게 왔다.
Catherine immediately turned to me.
우리는 부부였어. 매일매일 행복하고 수많은 날들을 보냈지. 그녀가 숨을 거두는
Then we married. Every waking hour we spent together were filled with happiness and joy. We were happy to the very last day, to her very last breath.
개소리하지 마.
Shut your stupid gob.
난 이 저택에 발걸음을 한 순간부터
The moment I set my foot in this manor,
해설인이 날 부르는 소리를 들었어. 그녀가 이 저택에 있다는 걸 느낄 수 있었단 말이야.
I heard her voice. I
무슨 말도 안
felt
되는 소리
her
하는 거야?
presence. So what the bloody hell are you even talking about?
이 개자식들이 작정하고 꾸민 일이 분명해.
This has to be some
그렇지
ploy.
않고서 이렇게
These fucking bastards. They must have... This can't... Heathcliff paused for a moment, struggling to find the words.
끝날 리가 없어.
This can't be how it ends.
내 눈앞에 그녀의 시체라도 갖다 놔. 그래야 좀 믿어볼 신용이라도 할 테니까.
I won't believe a single shite coming out of your mouth until I see her body with my own eyes! Where is she? Bring her here now!
못 봐주겠군. 장례식에서 고인에 대한 최소한의 예의를 갖추고 애도는 못할 망정.
What a repulsive sight. The least he could have done was to show some proper respect for the dead. I suppose even the bare minimum is too much to expect for someone like...
히스클리프, 네 기분은 알겠으니까 진정하고 자리에.
I understand how you feel, Heathcliff, so please, calm yourself and take a seat.
놔! 누구 마음대로 죽었다는 거야. 개시를 보기 전까지는.
Get your hands off me! You can't just decide for me that she's dead. I won't accept any of this! Not until I see Kathy with my own.
경고합니다. 지속적인 유언 집행 방해가 이어질 시 무력을 사용해서라도 유언 집행을 진행할 수밖에 없습니다.
Warning. Should this interruption to the will reading continue, we may have to resort to use of force to ensure that full execution of this will.
닥쳐! 아무것도 모르는 새끼가 멋대로 짓거리지 말라고!
Shut up! You don't know shit, so shut your fucking mouth! Heathcliff was gasping. The sheer The sheer momentousness of the emotion overwhelmed him. It looked as though he was about to lunge at anyone who even dared to get close. I could hardly tell whether it was sorrow or wrath that came over him.
히스클리프, 너야말로 거울을 좀 보지. 꼴이 말이 아니고.
Heathcliff, why don't you go have a look in the mirror at yourself? What a pathetic mess you've become.
역시 태생부터 글러먹은 새끼는 아무리 그럴듯한 옷을 주워 입어도 결국 티가 나긴 마련이거든.
It doesn't matter what posh garb plebs like you wrap yourselves in. That filth from your low birth seeps right through the fabric at the slightest provocation.
그리고 장례식 절차상 좋든 싫든 곧 캐서린의 시체를 볼 수 있을 테니 너무 재촉하지 말라고. 날 이런 꼴로 만들어 놓고 얼마나 편안하게 눈을 감고 있는지.
You'll eventually see Catherine's corpse, alright? It's all part of the funeral process, so don't be in such a hurry to get there. I can't wait to see how well she's resting after what she's done to me.
힌들리님, 히스클리프님, 두 분 다 지금 당장 자리에 앉아 주실 것을 명령합니다.
Mr. Henley
이것은
Earnshaw,
최종 경고입니다.
Mr. Heathcliff, we order that both of you immediately return to your seats. This is your final warning.
관리자 나리, 우리가 어쩌면 좋겠는가? 웨어피 협회 나리들은 계약 불이행에 관해선 필요에 따라 처형까지 할 수 있는 사람들이란 말이오.
Major Esquire, we must do aught anon. Fixers of the Ophi Association may even execute those involved should there be a breach of contract.
본인은 히스클리프 군이 처형당하는 것도 싫고 웨어피 협회 나리들이랑 싸우는 것도 싫소.
I don't wish to see Sir Heathcliff be executed, nor do I wish to have to battle the honorable fixers of the Ophi Association. I agree with Don Quixote. There is no need for us to get involved in unnecessary conflict, but I don't think Heathcliff's going to listen to us. I don't even know if there's anyone who can talk Heathcliff down from where when he's that agitated.
경고는 여기까지입니다.
You have refused to comply. We had no choice but to watch as fixers of the Ophi Association struck Heathcliff with their weapons. He fell to his knees with a painful cry.
이상.
Y.S.
말씀하시오.
Do speak.
그 이상.
Not you.
그럼에도 말씀하시오.
Speak so, your intentions notwithstanding.
이상하군. 너희 그대로 멈춰.
You, stop. All of you. Something's off about this whole thing.
이자를 대신에 할 말이 있으십니까?
Would you like to speak for this individual?
라고 말할 뻔했지만 그냥 가만히 있는 게 좋을 거라고 마음을 바꿨습니다. 그렇지?
Was what she was going to say, but she decided to remain silent in favor of not getting in trouble. Right?
뭘 하는 거지, 벌량?
Huh? What are you doing, BG?
요슈, 같은 수감자가 눈앞에서 그렇게 얻어맞은 것에 대해서 충분히 분노할 만하다고 생각해. 하지만
Ryoshu, I understand that seeing our fellow sinner get smacked around like that can be pretty aggravating, but
당신까지 나서버리면 걷잡을 수 없이 커져버릴 거라고.
once you get involved, peace will simply no longer be an option. Didn't know you cared so much about Heathcliff, Ryoshu.
말 더 안.
N.C. Ryoshu flicked her cigarette indifferently, as though she was no longer interested. No comment. You bastards!
한꺼번에 덤비든가.
Fine. Let's crack some skulls then, shall we? Heathcliff stumbled to his feet with the club in his hand, glaring at everyone that stood before him.
최초 대응만으로 협조하지 않으시는 겁니까?
I see that you're still refusing to comply despite our initial attempt.
1분 내로 무기를 내려놓지 않을 경우 그 다음 절차를 이행하겠습니다.
Should you refuse to let go of your weapon within the next minute, we have no choice but to escalate to our next steps.
설차고 놔버리고 그녀를 보여주지 않으면
I could care less about your steps. Give me Catherine, or give me death.
그래서 너희도 나랑 같이 뒤지는 거야.
None of us are leaving this manor alive. You lot, me, we're all going 6 feet under. Heathcliff!
다물어 시계대가리! 지금 회사가 규칙이고 알 바냐? 빨리 생각하지 마.
Shut up, Clockhead! This ain't the time for bringing up shite like company rules. Stay out of my way!
전 아무 말도 못 하겠어요. 눈앞에서 소중한 사람이 죽었다는 걸 알게 되면
I don't have anything to say.
아무것도 안 보여요.
If someone that important to me
들리지도
died,
않고요.
I'd be blinded, deafened to all reason too.
있지 히스. 지금 엄청 화나고 답답한 건 알겠어. 하지만 이대로 가면 우리는
I wonder why Ryoshi's eyes also glow, like for when she's angry enough, unless it's just a design choice thing. I think it's just a design choice thing. Hey, Heath, I understand how angry and frustrated you must be, but you can't.
닥쳐! 다 입 다물고 건들지 마. 같이 박살나고 싶은 게 아니라면.
Shut your trap! All of you, don't you dare touch me unless you want your faces caved in too.
히스클리프, 한숨 자고 일어나자.
It's nap time, Heathcliff. But I wanted to fight! Wow.
방금 맨손으로 히스클리프를 눕힌 거야?
Did she just knock him out cold with her bare hands?
게다가 꿀밤 한 방으로?
And it wasn't even a punch, it was just a light tap.
호흡은 정상적이다. 뒤통수에 위치한 맥에 정확한 충격을 줘서 의식을 잠시 잃게 한 것 같군.
His breathing is stable. It appears that she gave the nerve on the back of his head a precise focus strike, which led to his loss of consciousness.
전혀 군더더기 없는 동작이었어요. 익숙한 움직임이라고 해야겠죠?
What a flawless execution of that move.
저희 집안에
I can certainly say that I've seen something like that before. Reminds me of my family's...
히스클리프 군이 한 번에 불속.
Sir Heathcliff hath been defeated with a single fell strike.
이 정도의 기술은 가지고 있어야 진정한 버틀러라고 할 수 있죠. 아이가 안 잔다고 20시간 동안 고집 부리면 누군가는 재워야 하지 않겠어요?
Every self-respecting butler has to be equipped with one such move. What other choice have we got when the child fusses and fusses for 20 hours instead of going to sleep?
난 바로 눕자마자 꿈나라로 갈 수 있네. 정말로.
For truth, I can say it with quite the confidence I can immediately slumber to the dreamlands upon tucking myself in bed. For truth.
자인은 아니더라도 무기를 놓았고 진정된 것을 확인하였으니
Those not by his own volition have confirmed that he is no longer in possession of a weapon and has been subdued.
잠시 진정 시간을 10분 정도 가진 뒤 이후 계속 진행하겠습니다.
We'll allow for a 10-minute recess to let things calm down for a moment, then we will proceed as planned.
저 넬리님?
Excuse me, Lady Nellie.
넬리님이라니 편하게 넬리라고 불러주세요.
Lady Nellie? No need for such honorifics. Please, just call me Nellie.
린튼이라는 분이 데려오신 저 고용인 분들은 한때 이 저택에서 일하셨던 분들인 거죠?
The contractors that Mr. Linton Edgar brought, they once worked at this manor, right?
맞아요. 캐서린 아가씨를 따라서 저랑 같이 따라온 언쇼가 버틀러들이 몇몇 있죠. 물론 린튼님이 부리는 버틀러들은 원래 있던 에드가 가문 버틀러들이 대다수긴 하지만요.
Yes, indeed. Some butlers from the Earnshaws, like myself, followed Miss Catherine to Master Linton's. Of course, most of Master Linton's butlers are from his own Edgar family.
그럼 린튼 씨가 명령만 내린다면 넬리님도
So, if he gives the order to attack us, Lady Nellie would...
그게 무슨 말도 안 되는...
Oh, pish posh. Ridiculous.
저는 캐서린님의 직속 버틀러였어요.
As a butler in direct service of Miss Catherine.
린튼 도련님이 아무리 제 바지가랑이를 붙잡고 애걸복걸해도 제가 린튼 도련님의 편만 들 수는 없다는 거죠.
Young Master Linton could plead and beg all he wants. He won't always be taking his side.
저희 근데
So,
버틀러가 정확히
what exactly are the butlers?
버틀러? 말하자면 말이요. 그들은
Butlers! Forsooth! I am quite well acquainted with this matter. They are
집 구석에나 처박혀 주인에게 목줄 잡힌 개들.
house dogs on a tight leash, groveling before their masters.
누구보다 믿음직스럽고 충직한 분들이랄까요?
The most trustworthy and loyal people I've ever known, I'd say.
가문의 해결사들이요.
Fixers bound to families!
정말 잘 알아들었어. 다들 훌륭한 정리 고맙다. 어?
Nice. Gotcha. Some great help you fellas are. Well, I'm glad I'm not the only one out of the loop for once.
그래도 버틀러에 대해 곧바로 아시는 분도 있네요. 조금은 생소한 개념이라 버틀러 조직 자체를 모르는 분들도 많거든요.
At least some of you know who we butlers are. It is a rather rare occupation, so not many people even know that we exist.
돈 좀 있는 집에서나 쓸 테니 보통은 알기 힘들겠지.
Doesn't sound like most normal folk would have a reason to know anything about him.
아니면 돈 좀 있는 집에 고용되어야만 하는 입장이거나.
Unless they're in a position where they have no choice but to work at the rich folks' homes.
뭐 우리 중에 해결사를 좀 많이 좋아하는 자가 있어서.
Well, one of us is quite a passionate fan of fixers.
그렇군요. 우리 히스클리프가 참 총명한 친구들을 두었네요.
Quite. Oh, I'm very pleased to know that our dear Heathcliff made some very intelligent friends.
넬리군,
Lady Nelly!
내 버스로 다시 돌아간다면 꼭 구하려다 포기해버렸었던 버틀러 피규어를 구해 책장 제일 앞에 세워두리다.
I promise thee that, once I make my return to the bus, I shall have my hands on the butler figurine I have given up on acquiring. It shall stand tall and proud on the frontmost row of my display shelf. Hydrate? Cool, I'll do that. Don Quixote's eyes were practically exploding with joy at having her fixer obsession positively acknowledged, accepted for once.
버틀러들은 말이요, 일반 해결사들과는 조금 다른 해결사들이요.
Allow me to explain. Butlers are fixers, indeed, yet they are rather distinct from most fixers thou hast encountered thus far.
보통 해결사라 함은 협회나 사무소에 소속되어 그때마다 다른 의뢰를 받고 있다만 이들은 다르지.
A fixer oft refers to those who accept contracts as part of an association or an office. Alas, there exists a distinction when it comes to butlers.
바로 가문이나 저택에 소속이 되어 일관되고 장기적인 해결사 활동을 한다는 점, 물론 다른 해결사들처럼 한 사람만을 위해 고용되기도 한다오.
Butlers join families or manage to serve them, and only them, on long-term contracts. Forsooth, like any other fixers, butlers may be hired by a single person to serve them, and only them as well.
가사와 전투, 돌봄까지 다양한 분야를 도맡는 점도요.
Do note that our service is not limited to combat. We also conduct household management and care as well.
갖가지 소양을 필요로 하는 아주 힘들고 드문 해결사 직종이랍니다.
It must also be mentioned that proficiency in many fields is a necessity to be a respected butler. It is not an easy occupation, mind you.
그런데 버틀러를 고용하는 건 대단히 어마어마하게 비싸다는 걸로 알고 있네만.
Yes, from what I have learned, to hire a butler is to pay an inordinate amount of salary.
맞아요. 고생은 많이 하지만 고용기간 갱신 때마다 어마어마한 보수와 함께 연금과 같은 안정적인 보수까지 보장받으니까요.
Indeed. While butlers are always so busy, we are promised expensive compensation at every contract extension with stable bonuses such as pensions.
명망 높은 해결사분 중엔 협회에서 은퇴를 하고 버틀러로 전향하시는 분들도 종종 있죠.
Many famous association fixers also retire to serve as butlers as well.
저는 캐서린 아가씨 가문의 버틀러였고 린튼 도련님과 결혼하시면서 에드가 가문의 버틀러들과 섞이게 되었지만
As once a butler in service of Miss Catherine's family, it was transferred to Master Linton Edgar's family to join their ranks when she married him.
아주 평화로운 협의를 통해 제가 버틀러들의 대장격인 치프 버틀러가 되었답니다.
Still, after a rather peaceful, mutual debate, we came to the conclusion that I would be assuming the position of the chief butler, leader of the butlers in this household.
말만 들어도 정말 평화로워 보여.
Gotcha. Totally peaceful. I'm sure it was one really peaceful transfer of power.
그러고 보니 이 히스클리프 군도 조그마할 때가 있었다니 상상이 가지 않는군.
Just quite fascinating
어렸을
to...
때는 어떤 아이였는가?
Sorry, Don Quixote? Oh, it is quite fascinating to imagine that even Sir Heathcliff once had been a tiny bairn. How was he as a youth?
제가 치프 버틀러까지 될 수 있었던데 큰 이유를 차지하던 금쪽 같은 아이였달까요?
He was quite the special child. I do not believe I would have become a chief butler had it not been for him.
참 사랑스러운 아이였어요.
Oh, what a lovely boy he was.
사랑스러운.
Lovely. Quite. Cool, now we know that butlers are fixers. Something I didn't know, actually, so that's good knowledge to have. Just let me fight things, please! This is a shorter stream today. I want to fight things! I crave violence! In-game. Ugh. Are you okay, Heathcliff?
넬리가 옛날에 말했던 꿈나라로 보내버리는 비장의 방법.
This is that classic Nelly technique, eh?
오랜만이네.
Her technique to send us hurtling into the dreamlands. Been a while.
정말 미안해.
I think most of this Kanto's story. Why? I want violence in game. I'm terribly sorry, Heathcliff. I was hoping to avoid having to use that sleepy smack on you, and not after a reunion like this.
정말.
Is it true, Nelly?
넬리, 캐서린이 정말 죽었어?
Is Catherine really gone? Yes.
그리고 캐서린 아가씨의 유언장엔
And Miss Catherine
네 이름이 적혀 있었어, 히스클리프.
wrote your name into her will. The name is just like, don't give Heathcliff shit. I hate him. I know that's what she's not writing there, but I think it would be kind of funny.
뭐라고 적혀 있었는지 정도는.
Her will, huh? We should at least give it a listen to hear why she mentioned Heathcliff. Well, I don't always need to fight the Canto 4 having so many, but I crave violence. I want to hit people. In-game. You got Mirror Dungeon. Yeah, Mystery Dungeon, what I call it. But Mirror Dungeon, yeah. Heathcliff sat down wordlessly. But also it's a short stream and I want to fight more things. Because I don't care if the story is later, but because this one's a short stream, I want to fight things now so that I can spend like my I can fill in on something.
그런데 이 저택이 캐서린님의 소유였나요?
So, was this manor Miss Catherine's?
원래는 힌들리 도련님 것이었죠. 그런데
Well, it used to be young Master Hindley's once, then...
캐서린, 그것이 뒤통수를 쳐버렸어.
Catherine, that's shrewd. She stabbed me in the back.
린턴, 네 놈이 더 자세한 이야기를 들려주지 그래. 네 놈 부부가 어떻게 작등을 했어?
Why don't you elaborate on...
구렁텅이로 빠뜨렸는지.
Why don't you elaborate on that injustice, Linton? Share the tale of how Catherine and Linton Edgard stabbed me in the back. How the pair of you destroyed me.
정당한 방식이었네. 법적으로 아무 문제도 없지. 당장 T사 법원으로 뛰어들어가도 변하는 건 없을 텐데.
There's no injustice. It was done in a perfectly legal matter. Bring the case to T-Corp courts if you wish. It would change absolutely nothing. An Alfie Association fixer carrying a piece of paper stepped in between Hindley and Linton as two men continued to growl at each other.
진정 시간이 끝남에 따라 재산 상속 유언장 집행을 계속하겠습니다.
The allotted recess has expired. We now proceed to the inheritance bequeathment will reading.
이것은 고인 캐서린 씨의 유언장입니다. 위조가 없다는 것은 여러 번의 절차를 통해 검증이 되었습니다.
This is the will of the deceased. It has been verified via multiple tests and screenings that no counterfeiting or tampering of a similar nature has occurred.
저 사람들이 위조를 검증한다면 저 사람들은 누가 검증하는 거야?
If they're verifying if it's counterfeit or not, who verifies if they're not just straight up lying about it? That's my question, actually.
동의.
Good question.
업계 관행이라는 것일까요?
Maybe it's just a standard industry practice?
그리고 캐서린 씨께서는 재산 분배에 대해 선포되기 전 이 편지를
Miss Catherine has requested that this letter be read in audience of the 3 attendees
모두의 앞에서 낭독하라 하셨습니다.
before the bequeathment of personal property commences.
지금부터 그 유언장의 낭독을
I'll now read the full contents of her will.
드디어
Atlas. Atlas? Alright, I'm an English teacher. Let's analyze this saying. So, the weird thing is, she starts with, I believe, at is a preposition. It's been a while. I've always been a little weird on prepositions. I know how to write, but specifics are hard. So that's not how you typically start a sentence. You typically don't start a sentence with a preposition. So that's kind of weird. And then she said last, which in this case would be a noun because it is a form of time. If it was like last night, then it would be, of course, an adjective. But in this case, it is a noun. And the weird thing is, it is only 2 words of the sentence. This is not a actual sentence. It's incomplete because you need to have a verb in here. So this is incorrect. Also, we can think about this, though, as more of like narrative storytelling. In order to demonstrate some emotions, with that last. So it's more of like a relief here. We could also think about it as the period being finite. So it's just like, this is my feelings. There's nothing to hide. But still, the not the apostrophe, why was I going to say that? Capitalization of at last. Again, sentence incomplete. Wouldn't make sense if someone were just to read this as it is. Though the shortest story is 6 words long, you cannot have this with 2. So, of course, welcome to my TED Talk, and goodbye from my TED Talk. We're gonna keep reading.
모두가 한 자리에 모였구나.
You are all gathered here. Okay, this one, very good. So something that we could have done was, I'm just gonna fucking analyze the shit out of this. We could have done the apostrophe here, so you're all gathered here. But the reason for the spacing there is to help show more like nobility, more educated, because typically apostrophe is more in speech, and then when you're writing out, that is to show like more academic language, I guess. Specifically, the reason for all is that they're referring to everyone, specifically the 3 in the letter. Gathered, of course. Gathered, that makes sense, because all gathered specifically have a verb choice. If you were to look at gathered alone, that would of course be past tense, but with all gathered, it helps it be more present. And then here, of course, is this location, which is weird because it doesn't specify here, like where that location is, but it was still in the will. So that's a little confusing. So here is just a space, of course. It is interesting that they chose you or here. That shows some more familiarity with each one of those people, but still referring to the collective through the all.
부디 이번만큼은 다툼 없이 나의 말을 존중해주길.
My only wish is that my words will be met with respect, without hostility among you. Okay, this looks good. Only wish, so she didn't have any other wishes after death, which is good. That means she lived a fulfilling life. I fucking hate that I'm analyzing everything, but I think it's kind of funny, so I'm gonna keep up the bit. Is. So again, it's like that is the thing she has. It's a sense of being. And the words will be met with respect. So she wants to carry respect with her despite being deceased. So that can be considered one of her core values. And also more of like equality, kindness, considering the next part was without hostility among you. which is interesting because it's never just without hostility, because then that would be hostility towards herself in that case, but among you is between, of course, the 3 attendees. And also the comma there, that actually works. But actually this here is technically an incomplete clause. Because this doesn't have... Wait, is it? I don't think... Wait, give me a second. Is among a verb? No, it's a preposition. Yeah. Okay, so yep, I was right. So this is still incomplete. Why am I wasting time on this? It's not a complete sentence, so of course we didn't need to do a semicolon period, that sort of thing. And the comma just makes sense because, again, not a complete sentence, you can't just end it there. Because there is no verb in that section.
화를 내는 사람은 없었으면 좋겠어. 이건 한 번뿐인 내 장례식이잖아.
I hope that none of you become incensed during this occasion. It's my one and only funeral, after all. Interesting. So it shows contemplativeness, where she's thought about this a lot. And it's also kind of like a joke from Beyond the Grave, where it's like, yeah, I can only get one of these, so might as well try my best. Of course, I'm gonna stop analyzing this. I'm just gonna read it.
지금의 나는 전혀 고통스럽거나 괴롭지도 않아.
Ayo, there's that semicolon we were talking about earlier. I'm at peace. There is no pain, no suffering where I am.
그러니 내 죽음을 안타깝게 생각하는 일도 없었으면 해.
So do not consider my death a tragic one.
나는 나만의 천국에 이르렀을 거니까.
Because by the time you're hearing this, I must have reached my own heaven.
하지만 그렇다고 해서 슬퍼하지 말라는 건 아니야.
It's not to say that you mustn't let sorrow into your hearts.
눈물은 마음껏 흘려.
Weep, if you will.
그래야 날 진심으로 사랑한다는 마음이 느껴질 테니까.
So that I may feel your grief and know that you all truly loved me.
워더링 하이츠, 낡고 황량한 저택.
Wuthering Heights, an old and desolate manor.
난 이곳을 많이 무서워했지. 매일같이 악몽을 꾸고 겁에 질려 했지만.
I've always been afraid of this place. Fear and nightmares would consume me every night.
이제야 죽음에 이르러서야 이 저택을 있는 그대로 받아들이기로 했어.
But now that I stand before the end of my life, I've come to accept this manor for what it is.
이제 이 저택을
This manor, which I will leave
나의 남편 린튼 에드가에게 남길게.
to my husband, Linton Edgard.
나를 계속 기억하며 이 저택을 소유해줘.
Keep this manor and remember me by its presence. What the fuck? Damn it!
그리고 하나뿐인 내 오빠 힌들리.
And my brother, Hindley, my one and only brother.
나도 언급할 거라고 생각했다고.
Right! I knew it'd be in there somewhere. Hindley's legs began to shake nervously. So did his voice.
빚이 매우 많은 상황이라고 들었어.
I heard that you're mired in quite heavy debt.
매일같이 술과 도박을 일삼고 있다는 것도.
And that you've been spending most of your days drinking and gambling.
그래서 나는
So, That is such a weird thing to have in a letter. I'm sorry, we're going back to the education moment. This is such a weird part to have in a letter. Because you wouldn't... Why would you say another... So this one's a conjunction, because it's the so. You can remember it through fanboys. And then you have the noun. Preposition noun, I think, works. But conjunction now, I don't think does. Again, not a full sentence. Also an ellipses. Why'd she write this in her letter? I don't know. It's kind of weird. Kind of sus. Come on, Catherine. Give me something. Anything.
M사에 있는 어비스 트라우마 교정실에 오빠를 등록해 놓았어.
Send you up for the Abyss Trauma Correctional Facility at M-Corp. M-Corp?
이
Interesting.
말을 듣고 일주일 내에 방문을 해서 서류를 접수하지 않으면
If you don't visit the facility within 1 week after attending this will reading,
그쪽에서 오빠를 찾으러 직접 방문할 거야.
they will come to take you in.
뭐?
What? What?
오빠의 마음이 건강해질 수 있기를 진심으로 빌게.
I truly hope that your heart will be healed, dear brother.
말도 안 돼. 희망을. 애초에 지금 상황에서 일주일 안에 M사를 어떻게 가라는?
No! That's absolute nonsense! How the hell am I even supposed to get to M-Corp in a week? Use the warp train, forehead.
물론 오빠를 위해 M사로 가는 워프 열차 이용권도 준비해 두었으니.
There we go. There we go. Use a warp train. Of course, I've already prepared a warp train ticket to M-Corp for you, so please don't worry about the travel fees.
내 손에 집어쳐.
No, this is a load of shite!
만일 또다시 소란이 일어나서 집행을 멈추게 된다면
Should another instance of disturbance to the execution of this will occur,
이번에는 경고 없이
we would take forceful action without warning.
이것들이 감히.
How dare you, you plebs.
그리고
And you, Heathcliff.
집으로 온 걸 환영해.
Welcome home.
캐시.
Kathy, I'm...
이 저택에 7번의 벼락이 치고 난 후,
Once the seventh strike of lightning falls upon this manor,
그 후엔 황금가지가 네 것이 될 거야.
my golden bow shall be yours. Huh? The mere mention of the golden bow suddenly intensified the sensation I felt earlier. I definitely sensed that the golden bow was located somewhere within this manor. Interesting. But I already figured that the golden bow was somewhere in here. I've known that ever since we stepped foot into this manor. Yet, I couldn't quite pinpoint its exact location because...
내가 소유한 그 황금가지를 너에게 줄게, 히스클리프.
I will leave my golden bow to you, Heathcliff.
황금 가지를 저택이나 가문도 아닌 개인이 소유하고 있었다고요?
The golden bow was her personal property? Not even her estates or her family's? Just hers?
벼락? 7번? 무슨 말을 하는 것일까요?
Seventh strike of lightning. What do you think that means? It's not a golden bow.
뭐라는 거야? 대체 무슨?
What the bloody hell is that supposed to mean? What? There's more than one here. Oh.
단테, 괜찮으신 건가요?
Dante, are you alright? There's a second golden bow in this manor.
아니야. 그딴 말 말고.
No, this isn't at all what I...
돌아와, 캐시. 제발.
Come back, Kathy. Please.
내 말에 한 번만 들어줘, 캐시.
Hear my voice just this once, Kathy!
정말이야, 내일이 정말 유령을 봤다니까?
I'm serious. Oh, Nelly, this room is haunted. I saw a ghost.
또 그런다. 유령이 나오면 제가 두들겨 패서 빨래대에 널어놓을 거라고 했잖아요, 캐시 아가씨.
Again with this, Miss Kathy? What did I say? I told you I would thrash that evil ghost and hang them to dry on the rack.
유령 같은 건 없어. 맨날 거짓말만 한다니까 쟤는.
Ghosts aren't real. She's such a big liar.
거짓말 아니라고.
I'm not lying.
미안하다 얘들아. 많이 기다렸지?
I'm so sorry, children. Have you been waiting long?
아빠, 내 바이올린은요?
Dad, where's my violin?
내 엑스사 맞는 렌치도.
What about my X-Corp all-purpose wrench?
바이올린도 렌치도 못 사왔어. 남은 손이 없었거든.
Again, I'm sorry. I didn't have the room for a violin or a wrench.
남은 손? 아우, 뭐야?
What room? What is that?
안고 있는 그 더러운 자루 같은 건 뭐야? 더러워.
What's that dirty rag? Ew.
이 날씨에서 길거리에서 죽어가고 있었단다. 부모도 집도 없던 모양이야.
I found this child dying alone in the streets. He was without parents or a home. The boy would surely have died in weather like this.
그래서 나는 우리 집에 이런 거지 같은 애랑 같이 있기 싫어.
So what? I don't want that gross dirty kid living here.
맞아. 바이올린 사오란 말이야. 이런 거 내다 버리고.
Yeah, I want my violin. Throw that thing out.
뭘 봐?
What are you gawking at?
바이올린 내놔. 바이올린 가지고 싶단 말이야.
Violin! I want my violin!
근데 아빠, 이 애는 왜 길거리에 있었어요?
Papa, why was he all alone in the streets?
이 아이에게는 아무도 없기 때문이거든. 불쌍하게도.
Because there wasn't anyone to take care of him. Poor child.
뒷골목에는 그런 아이들이 간혹 보이지. 부모도 없고 친척도 없고 집도 없는 아이들 말이야.
There are other children like him in the back streets. No parents or relatives to look after them. No homes to shelter them.
그럼 얘한테는 이제 뭐가 있는 거예요?
Then, what does he have now?
이제부턴 우리와 그리고 이 집이 있는 거지, 캐시.
Well, Kathy, now he's got us to look after him. And this place is his home.
싫어.
No!
난 저런 거 안 가져.
I don't want that ugly thing.
그럼 오빠는 버리는 거구나?
So, you're saying you don't want to have him, right?
바람이 불고 있나 봐. 저택에 또 울음소리가 들려.
Wind's howling. We're in The Witcher now. Welcome to The Witcher 3. The winds are constantly howling. Roach is fucking on a roof for some reason. Never coming when called. You're gonna just drug up on a bunch of potions before fighting a cockatrice or something. Let's go. Ugh. Fuck. Alright. Wind's howling. I can hear something wailing. Its cries echoing through the manor halls.
그렇네요. 창문은 닫으세요, 아가씨. 춥겠어요.
I hear it too, miss. Close the windows. There's a nip in the air outside.
기억나세요? 아가씨가 어렸을 때 이 바람 소리만 들으면 계속 무섭다고 칭얼거리셨는데.
Do you remember still? As a child, you were terribly afraid of these howling winds. Winds howling.
유령이 보인다 그러지 않나?
That you're seeing a ghost.
넬리, 지금도 난 보이는 걸?
Nelly, I see them still.
아가씨, 히스클리프가 저택을 떠난 후로 아가씨는 너무 허약해지셨어요.
Miss,
그러니까 어른이 되어서도 헛것이나 보는 거라고요.
you've grown far too weak ever since Heathcliff departed the manor. That's why you are seeing things.
괜찮아, 넬리.
That is alright, Nelly.
이젠 유령이 무섭지 않아.
I no longer fear the ghosts.
모든 두려움은 무지에서부터 나오는 것이니까.
Because all fear stems from the ignorance of its origin.
히스클리프는 어디에 있는 걸까?
Where do you suppose he is, Heathcliff?
아가씨.
Miss.
이제 그에게 남은 것이라군. 내가 전부일 텐데.
He doesn't have anything left. I am everything he has. Money. Fight. No. I don't want violence. Anyways, this, as I mentioned, was a shorter stream. I'm sad that we didn't get violence. We only had violence here. It makes me sad. Because I want more. I crave the violence. But yeah, I need to get going soon. So I need to get ready and all that stuff. But thank you all for tuning in for this much shorter stream than usual. We'll be returning to this tomorrow, and then hopefully when we run out of energy, we'll finish up Baldur's Gate. Because I'm really hoping to finish that up and fix up my PC for reals. Adios. Adios, Groovy. So again, thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed. And I look forward to seeing you all soon. Thanks again. Bye.